get him a travel book. They're always going someplace. Or an art book. They like art. What do you think?
I think you don't have to get your ex-in-laws belated Christmas presents. That's what I think.
Belated New Year's presents.
I'm pretty sure Miss Manners would back me up on this.
Well, I'm divorcing Michael, not them. They're still Lauren's grandparents. Besides, they're crazy about me.
Still?
Yeah. Well, they know what Michael is like. They probably blame him.
This has been confirmed?
I know them, Vincent. Okay, come on, help me. They're gonna pick up Lauren, and I want to get them something that says, you know...
Love me even though I dumped your son like a sack of cats.
I didn't dump him, but yeah, something like that.
Oh!
What?
Oh, my God.
What?
Oh, my God.
What? Time of Luck and Kindness by Vincent Gray!
Shh.
Oh, my God, Vincent, you're in the stores! Why didn't you tell anybody?
I didn't know.
What do you mean?
I mean, I knew that it was coming out sometime this month, but I thought that I would get a warning.
How cool is this?
Keep your voice down.
Why? It's so exciting. It's my brother's book. It's my brother's book. It's my baby brother, Vincent Gray. He's a published author.
But she's out on a day pass.
You're gonna tell me this is not exciting?
Yeah, it's exciting.
Where you going?
Outside to vomit.
Time of Luck and Kindness. Time of Luck and Kindness. Right here. Vincent Gray. Check it out.
When my client found out that her ex-husband had applied for passports in their children's names and discovered a credit card receipt for 3 one-way air tickets to Tübingen with an open departure date, she naturally became concerned that he planned to abduct the children.
Your Honor, there is no foundation for believing that my client planned or plans to abduct his own children. He planned to take the children on a visit to their grandparents in Germany after obtaining his ex-wife's consent.
Ms. Benedict, did you have prior knowledge of these plans?
No, Your Honor. Not at all. I happened to discover his plans on my own.
You searched his coat pockets.
Okay, well, shall we set that aside for a moment? Mr. Gelman, are you prepared to offer an explanation for your client's behavior? And where is Mr. Heckling, by the way?
He's en route, Your Honor. As I understand it, my client obtained the airline tickets after seeing them offered at a deep discount on a travel website.
And why would he do that if he hadn't talked to his former wife?
His mother is ill, Your Honor. He wanted to be prepared in the sudden worsening
His mother is as healthy as a horse, Your Honor. She's too mean to die.
I hate to say this, Your Honor, but I think what we're dealing with here is a plaintiff who's nothing more or less than a common bigot.
Objection.
An individual whose unreasoned hatred for an ethnic group, an entire people, in this case the German people, has utterly eclipsed such reason as she might ordinarily possess.
That is completely untrue.
Mr. Gelman, on what basis do you accuse Miss Benedict of these anti-German feelings?
During the course of their marriage, Your Honor, the plaintiff habitually remarked, as my client Gunther Heckling fastened his shoelaces, that he, quote, tied his shoes in little Nazis.
That was a joke. A joke.
Sorry. Well, I don't really see what this has to do with...
Okay. He's a Nazi. He is.
Miss Benedict.
No, he used to be a normal person, but something happened. I mean, the guy hosts his own Leni Riefenstahl Film Festival every year. He has a big brass eagle on his belt, for God's sakes.
I put it to you that you are a common crowd hater.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Objection! Your bigotry is at the root of this
All right,
clumsy
everybody,
attempt...
that's enough. This is a custody hearing. It's not an open forum on cultural prejudice. Mr. Gelman, it would be helpful if we could hear your client's voice in this matter.
I spoke to him less than an hour ago, Your Honor. He said he might be a little late.
Oh, my God. He's never late. He's German.
Your Honor.
That stinking Nazi creep.
Your Honor.
Miss Benedict, your comments are undermining your credibility.
That damn goose-stepping, square-headed Hun bastard, he's taken my baby.
I recommend issuing a warrant for Mr. Heckling's arrest.
For what? Missing a court date? He's not even legally obligated to be here. Still, Mr. Gelman, the sooner you produce your client, the better.
That won't be a problem, Your Honor.
Good. We're in recess until then.
Excuse me. I'm Maxine Gray from DCF, and I need to see Aisha Al-Jamal.
Right down the hall.
Mrs. Al-Jamal, I have to examine your daughter. If I don't look at these wounds, they could get infected. I have to look at her.
Excuse me, doctor. I'm from DCF.
Great. You speak Yemeni?
No.
Why do I have to speak to someone else? I've already seen the police.
I'm with social services. We deal with situations involving children.
I am not a child. I'm 15. Can everybody leave? You're upsetting my mother.
She hasn't stopped wailing since I came in here. The father tried to punch me.
Doctor.
I'm trying to do my job.
Well, why don't you give me a minute with the girl, and maybe we can get everybody to calm down.
Fine with me.
Okay.
Please, it's okay.
Why don't we start with names? I'm Maxine.
This is my sister Kaja and my mother Amina. She doesn't speak much English, but she understands some.
Mrs. Al-Jamal. Mrs. Al-Jamal, I'm Mrs. Gray, and I'm here to help your daughter. You understand, to help? All right. Thank you. Aisha, can you tell me what happened?
It was stupid. I had a bad week at school. Some people had been teasing me. I should be used to that. Everyone thinks I'm different. I was frustrated. I don't know. I just tried to hurt myself.
Now, the report says that you have stab wounds in your chest and arm. You're telling me you did this to yourself?
Yes?
Aisha, if someone did this to you, I really need to know.
No one did it. I did it to myself.
Please, wait.
Yes?
My father would probably not approve of me speaking to you, but I need to know what you're going to do.
Your sister Aisha is a juvenile. Unless I'm satisfied that she won't be attacked again, and she was attacked, I'll apply for an order of temporary custody so that she can be protected.
If it were true what you say, she's in no danger. Not now. It has been proven she's a virgin.
You're going to have to be clearer than that.
Somehow, word got around the Yemeni community she had been with a man. That she was no longer a virgin. She was examined this morning by clerical authorities. She is a virgin. She has a signed certificate.
Are you saying that your sister was attacked by someone who thought that she was no longer a virgin?
No. But when Aisha heard the rumor, she believed she had destroyed our good name, our family honor. She must have become hysterical, as she says. And in this state, she did violence upon herself. Needlessly.
I intend to talk with your parents. I'm sure they'll help clear things up.
It is best for you to leave us all alone.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Judge Gray,
What's this?
the complaint against Judge Alistair McNeil, the Judicial Conduct Commission just called. I wanted the judge's sad triple bypass this morning. You're the fill-in alternate.
You're kidding. When do we meet?
Tonight, testimony from the complainant is set for the second floor conference room, 8 p.m. Dress is business, cocktails and dancing after.
Dr. McNeil, huh? Mr. Alistair McNeil is one of the few judges sitting in this jurisdiction capable of original thought. Doesn't seem like the kind of guy to make sexual overtures to a run-of-the-skid streetwalker in his chambers.
When Judge McNeil arrived, there was talk of an incident in his previous assignment. The complaint was investigated, found to have no merit. Judge was cleared, and proceedings were sealed.
But as a member of the Judicial Conduct Commission, I'll have access to that material. Sealed or not, right?
You'll find the transcript of the inquiry in there. Some light after-dinner reading.
Great. The fun never stops. I love the cover. What is it exactly?
It's, abstract.
I can't believe your book just shows up like that. Where's the fanfare?
That's the way it is with fiction. They only promote the big books.
I used to send it to Oprah. Seriously, Vincent. People listen to her.
It's a small book by a guy nobody's ever heard of. That's the way it works. You hope for good reviews, word of mouth.
Title's confusing. What does it mean?
It's, from a poem by a guy named Rumi.
Yeah, but what does it mean?
It's about moral relativism.
Huh.
That sounds good. Hey, what's up?
Getting a lesson in literature from Herman Melville.
Isn't it great?
Nothing like the swell of familial pride.
He's an insurance salesman, Vincent. Do you understand his work?
He didn't even want to touch it.
He's proud in his own way. Besides, you enjoy being misunderstood.
Oh, right. I'll remember that when the reviews start coming out.
When does that happen?
New York Times is any day now.
Really?
But we're not telling anybody, in case it's not good.
It's gonna be good.
It could really not be. You know, I could be humiliated in the best paper in the country, in the world. Oh, my God. Why the hell did I want to do this?
Hey, enjoy it. It's really happening.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
You want her to move in here?
Just for a while.
She lost her job with the chiropractor because of her carpal tunnel syndrome.
And we'd give her our guest room, but we're remodeling for the baby right now, and the dust is really bad for Evie's allergies.
Peter, honey, you know I've been supportive of your adopting this young woman's baby. However, I'm not sure it's the best idea for her to move in here.
It's only temporary, just till the drywall's up.
We'd rent her an apartment, Maxine, but all of our money is tied up in the remodeling and adoption fees.
Doesn't she have a family? People who care about her?
Her family lives in Massachusetts. They're estranged.
We're all she has right now, and she's carrying our baby.
Your grandchild.
Yeah. This was the day I was scheduled to appear on the soliciting charge. Judge McNeil approached me in the corridor and asked me to come with him to his chambers. I remember there was a very bright red carpet with a blue stripe around the outside and a picture of the judge on his desk in a ski outfit. And also a big gold mirror with an eagle on it by the door.
By stipulation, both parties have agreed it is an accurate description of the judge's chambers.
That's correct.
Ms. Herrick, would you tell the members of the Judicial Conduct Commission what happened next?
He asked me to remove my clothes and kneel and perform oral sex on him. And when I wouldn't, he got nuts. That is, he said I'd regret it. That afternoon, he gave me 2 months in jail instead of the usual fine you get, you know?
There were no witnesses who saw the two of you together at any time?
He was very careful. I realized that later. Snaky, you know?
I think you'll like this room. It's my favorite room in the house. It gets afternoon sun.
Okay.
And it's got its own bathroom.
So you'll have plenty of privacy.
And, Mom's a wonderful cook.
When I'm not waxing the floors.
I hope you like cable TV.
Cool. Okay.
Okay.
Sweetie. Maxine, thank you. I know this isn't easy, but it's just for a little while.
She doesn't have much to say.
But she's a little shy.
Can I get another pillow for my bed? Oh, and my own key?
Of course. Lauren?
The pre-Raphaelites.
Yeah, I remembered how much you liked them.
Yes, we love them. It's a very thoughtful gift.
Yeah, it's got Ophelia and Chatterton. Oh, all the greatest hits.
Thank you, really.
Well, Lauren should be down in a minute. I think Mom's just helping her pick out a sweater. Is the coffee okay?
Yes, fine, thank you.
Well, I'm glad we finally got a chance to see each other face to face. I've been wanting to talk to you, to explain what happened.
Amy, you really don't have to do that.
No, I want to.
Look, you're both adults, and it's none of our business. Naturally, we felt pretty sad, but you don't owe us an explanation.
Well, I will always respect Michael, and I would never let our differences interfere with our parenting, ever.
Does Lauren like Chinese food? Karen thought it would be nice to try it at lunch.
Sure, yeah. She'll try just about anything. She's pretty adventurous for a child her age. Anyway, I must have tried to write you at least a dozen times, but each time it just seemed so self-serving and artificial and...
What can't be mended must be borne.
Isn't it endured?
Is it?
Yes, I think what can't be mended must be endured.
Well, what I'm trying to get at is It's like the iceberg thing. There's only a little part of it that's above the surface, but that's the part that everybody sees. And I.
Creamy pie!
Hi, sweetheart.
Sweetie pie. Don't you look pretty? Did we give you this dress for your birthday?
Yeah, Grandma said I should wear it.
Hello, Maxine.
How are you?
We're good, thank you. And you?
Very well.
Good.
Hey, Lauren, Grammy and Pops are going to take you out for Chinese food.
Okay, but I have to get to the Amazon habitat by 8. That's when all the nocturnal animals start to go to bed.
Oh, okay.
Then we better get going.
All right, I'll walk you out.
No. That's all right. No need. We'll see you tomorrow evening after dinner. Bye-bye.
I never liked them.
Mother.
Well, I didn't.
Oh, Maxine, good. You're here. Just in time to talk to Mr. and Mrs. Ishtar.
Susie, that's not cute.
I'm sorry. Not a fan of the culture. Something about women being forced to wear garbage sacks makes me cranky.
What are they doing here?
Police brought them in. They suspect they stabbed their daughter, don't you?
I don't know what I think. I was planning to go to their house and talk to them like I would anyone else. They're not a flight risk.
They're nomads. They wander.
They're Yemeni, not nomads.
Maxine, do you have any idea how they treat their women? Look at his wife. She's covered from head to toe.
Well, I'm here to help their daughter, not analyze their way of life.
Well, good luck getting anything out of them. I'm already looking for a placement.
I'm sure you are.
Your Honor, we've been unable to locate my client's former husband or her children. According to school authorities, they were removed yesterday by Gunter Heckling on pretext of an automobile accident involving his ex-wife.
Judge Gray, have you informed the police and the state's attorney's office of this, Mr. Tyson?
Yes, Your Honor, it's my understanding that no action will be initiated until the children have been missing at least 48 hours.
Judge Gray. In a minute, Donna, and no one's heard from them since. Judge Gray.
What is it?
Donna?
I'm sorry. But Hartford Police Captain named Fritz Teeter just phoned. He said they just received a call from Gunter Heckling. The children were with him, and they're fine.
What? Where are they?
Well, Captain Teeter wasn't sure, but he said it sounded like an airport terminal. He heard German being spoken in the background.
Oh, my God. I knew it. Your Honor, I assure you, I had no idea.
Well, this court finds Gunter Heckling in violation of the current custody agreement. In addition, I'm directing the state's attorney's office to issue a complaint accusing Mr. Heckling of kidnapping. Oh, Miss Benedict, I promise you that I and the state of Connecticut will do everything in our power to work with the German authorities to seek extradition of your ex-husband and the safe return of your children.
Thank you, officer. Mr. and Mrs. Al-Jamal, I'm Maxine Gray. I'm very sorry for all this.
We have been here for over an hour. I have a business. We have children at home.
Truly, I apologize.
They refused to release my daughter from the hospital.
That is correct. DCF has the authority to keep her there pending an investigation. That is, until we know what happened to her.
Aisha told you what happened.
DCF is not satisfied with this report.
DCF? What does that stand for?
I apologize. It means the Department of Children and Families.
You have a department to take care of your children and families? You cannot take care of them yourself? In my country, this would be unthinkable, having strangers interfere with a family.
Well, we do things differently here.
Yes. I read the newspapers. Women leave their babies in trash cans. Children murder their parents. Forgive me if I do not think you do things better.
I'm having some problems with Aisha's story, Mrs. Al-Jamal.
Please address your comments to me.
It's customary for me to speak with the child's mother.
Your custom, not mine. I speak for the family.
Then do you think your daughter stabbed herself?
I believe what Aisha said.
Well, I'm having some problems with it.
Are we under arrest?
No, of course not.
Then I would like to leave. Yalla, bidna baruch.
Mr. Al-Jamal, you can't avoid talking with DCF.
You're welcome to be a guest in my home. Yalla.
Then we'll talk there. This afternoon.
Miss Dewsbeaver, you testified that you saw a woman leaving my client's chambers who you believe was Miss Herrick.
Yes.
But your view was essentially from behind. You saw a red-haired woman of medium stature leaving the judge's chambers. Can you be sure it was Miss Herrick?
Well, pretty sure. It was the same kind of dyed red hair.
Isn't it fair to say that at best you have a hunch that the person leaving the judge's chambers was Andy Herrick?
Well, yes, a hunch. A pretty good hunch.
Thank you, Miss Dewsbeaver. No more questions.
All right, let's take a 10-minute recess.
Rick Bachman.
Amy Gray.
Welcome to the Judicial Conduct Commission. Is it all you thought it'd be?
Yeah, all that and more. Actually, I'm a little overwhelmed. The stakes are so high for Judge McNeil.
What I want to know is what the hell we're all doing here anyway. We all know McNeil's a pansy. Hey, do you really believe that he asked this bimbo to give him a helmet scrub?
Do we know he's gay?
Well, that previous incident in New Haven certainly suggests he is.
But he was exonerated in that case.
Yes, but if he is a homosexual, it explains why he was such a perfect target for that kind of sleazy accusation.
Excuse me, if this man is gay, what's the point of this whole exercise? In my book, homosexuals don't seek oral gratification from female prostitutes.
Yeah, especially that one. Hey, did you see the
Are
way
we
she was
deliberating here? Because it's my understanding that we shouldn't deliberate until all the evidence is in. Isn't that what we tell jurors? We haven't even heard from Judge McNeil yet.
Well, I just think the whole thing's a crock. I've got to go tap my kidneys.
Damn. Looks like you're out of the golf game.
I'll live.
Mrs. Gray, it is strict Yemenite tradition that an unmarried woman of decent family does not have relations with a man, not before marriage.
Things were not so different here at one time.
No, it's far more important in my culture. The girl may never marry. Her sister may not marry. The whole family becomes a figure of ridicule. The only way to erase the shame is if the girl is punished with death.
And this is your belief?
At one time, if the daughter of another broke this law, I would have lost respect for the family. But when I saw Aisha injured, I knew no strain on my family honor is worth the life of a child. Still, I did this to her.
You're saying you attacked your daughter?
No, but I passed on these beliefs to my children. Aisha hurt herself to protect her family. بدها شاي من فضلك.
Thank you, Mrs. Al-Jamal. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
She does not understand English.
Oh, I think she gets the gist.
Mrs. Gray, women do not participate in this manner. It would make her uncomfortable.
Mr. Al-Jamal, I have complied with your rules. I have respected your customs. I think you owe me the same consideration. I want to talk to the child's mother, Amina. I am a mother, like you. I know that you're very worried about your daughter. I know you want her to come home, but she will not come home until I know what happened. Is that clear? Aisha will not come home until I know the truth.
ليه؟ شو هذا؟ أنت لازم تجيبها في الدار هلا، بدي بنتي في الدار هلا.
اسكتي.
هذه بنتي مش بنتهم.
يلا روحي من هون.
هذه بنتي مش بنتهم.
Mrs. Gray, you have said enough.
Yes. Yes. I think I have.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Evie.
Do you know if that TV in my bedroom has a remote control?
No, I think it's the old-fashioned kind. You actually have to get up and turn that knob. Is that my shirt you're wearing?
Oh, is it? I found it in my bedroom closet. I figured nobody wanted it anymore, so...
No, yeah, I just use that as sort of an overflow closet. But if you want to wear it, go ahead.
Oh, thanks. Some of my clothes are getting a little tight.
When are you due again?
May 21st.
Hello.
Hi, Mom.
Hello, Evie. How are you?
Freezing? There's something wrong with your heat. Like you don't have any.
I'll show you how to work the thermostat.
Thanks.
Is that your shirt?
on. Is Vincent home yet? Lisa, thank God you're here.
What's wrong?
The review's out. He's reading it.
The New York Times? Is it good?
He won't say anything. He just keeps reading it over and over and over.
Hi. Is that your review?
Yeah, I got an advance copy.
Well, is it good?
It's good.
How good?
Really good.
Oh, thank God. Vincent, that's fantastic. Let me see. Wow. Auspicious debut. Original voice. Nuanced and convincing.
Nuanced is good.
Nuanced is great.
Then why are you kind of green?
There was another review today in The Spectator.
What's that?
A small magazine. Very literary. British and snotty.
I've never heard of it.
What did they say?
They said I wrote my second book first.
Oh, the bastards!
What does that mean?
Not good.
What did they say exactly?
Exactly? Let's see. Surfeit of intelligence, a deficit of courage. It's careful and it's calculated. Mr. Gray is afraid of losing a reputation he has yet to earn. He seems to think that even when you've got nothing, you've got something to lose. Not that I've memorized it or anything.
Come on, Vincent. This is the New York Times. I mean, who's ever heard of that other thing?
The Spectator.
See, I've already forgotten it.
The problem is, they're right.
No, they're not. Come on, this is your moment. Can't you just let yourself have it?
Excuse me. Can I say something? You wrote something, Vincent. Putting your ideas and dreams into words and out there for everyone. That's an act of courage. Sitting around finding fault with other people's work is cowardly. You know what they say. It's easier to criticize than create. Besides, if Englishmen had any sense of aesthetics, they'd be circumcised.
This is a serious charge, Judge, with serious consequences. If the allegation is proven, you could be suspended or removed from office. This is your opportunity to be heard.
At this time, with all due respect, members of the commission, my client has advised me that he will make no statement nor present any evidence on his behalf.
For God's sakes, Alistair, defend yourself.
Your lack of comment is a statement in itself, Judge McNeil.
Mr. Cochran, as I know you're aware, during the course of the investigation of the case, this commission had an occasion to review the record of the New Haven incident. And perhaps it would be helpful if Judge McNeil addressed himself to that.
Against my advice, my client wishes to say something.
After 30 years of service, I'm distressed to discover my integrity can be so easily impugned. This case is a simple matter of my word versus the complainant. And I will not inject information that is not relevant into this hearing. At this point, I feel compelled to offer my resignation as Superior Court Judge of the state of Connecticut. This should relieve the commission of its onerous burden. If you'll excuse me.
Well, let me guess. It's got a remote.
Peter, you've given that young woman a home, a credit card, the shirt from your sister's back. She does not need a remote control to have a healthy baby.
Evie has sciatica. She has to stay off her feet as much as possible. Hey, take a look. Vincent's review.
Oh, hi, Peter. I was just about to call you. Jillian said I could borrow her car if I needed it.
Sure, where are you off to?
Driving, errands and stuff. It's kind of private, okay? I shouldn't have to get the third degree every time I want to go someplace.
You're right. I'm really sorry. I'll get Jillian to bring the car over after lunch.
I was kind of hoping I could have it now.
Okay, let me call her at work.
Oh, please.
Mother?
Peter, you don't have to give her your car. If she wants to go somewhere, she can walk to the bus stop and take the bus.
Evie has sciatica.
I can't believe you're allowing this young woman to manipulate you like this.
It's fine, really.
Hey, Mom, it's 8:30. We're gonna be late.
Jillian said it was okay.
While I appreciate your willingness to give up your baby to my son and daughter-in-law, Evie, I won't have you take advantage of them.
Mother, please.
Do you honestly believe she'll hand over her baby to someone else if you don't accede to her every whim? She's got a very good deal here. Don't you, Evie?
Hey, Mom.
No, Evie knows that she's damn lucky to have you and Jillian. To have her baby raised in a home where it will always be loved, taken care of, safe. Evie may be young, but she's no fool. Why would she jeopardize having that for her baby?
You people don't know me. You don't know anything about me. It's my baby, and I will do whatever I want with it, and you can't stop me.
Somebody needed to say something.
Yeah? What made you think it had to be you?
It's my house, my son. Why shouldn't I?
Because Peter asked you not to?
Well, don't they have any self-respect? Can't they see what that little girl is doing to them?
Ma, you don't know everything. We don't know everything. We don't know what it's like not to be able to have a baby. So if Peter and Jillian want to let that young woman walk all over them for the privilege of adopting her baby, then I plan to be supportive. And I think you should too.
I hear Aisha Al-Jamal is still in the hospital?
Yes.
I found a placement.
Susie, no. I'm working on an investigation.
That man stabbed his daughter.
Well, you don't know
You were
that.
having sex with somebody.
Well, actually, she didn't have sex.
Well, that makes it better.
Do you honestly expect every family we work with to walk and talk and look like us? We're here to help people, not convert them. Dealing with diversity is part of the job. It's part of being on the planet, in fact.
Maxine, you're a certified member of the morality police, but you're defending people who murder women for losing their virginity?
Susie, I'm not defending anyone. I'm just trying to help a disturbed child and her parents, as I do every day.
Do you know how naive that sounds? These people don't share our values. They don't answer to the same authority.
The mother wants her daughter home. That's a universal language.
As if what the mother wants counts for anything.
Don't underestimate the power of the matriarch where her child's interest is concerned.
Maxine, I'll give you one more day on this. Then I'm taking over.
Thank you, Susie. I know how much a woman's authority means to you.
Judge McNeil,
Judge Gray.
may I have a few moments of your time?
Please, I don't have many moments left in this office. I'd be delighted to spend the last few with you. My chamber is pretty much as described by the complainant, isn't it?
Or as described to her.
Why are you here, Judge Gray?
I want to know why you refuse to defend yourself. Maybe I don't have a right to know, but I want to know.
The question's compound, calls for a conclusion. I should make you rephrase, but what the hell? Sit down. And I won't proposition you since you don't have any business pending before my court. So, Judge Gray, how would you have defended my case?
Well, Judge McNeil, we all know what happened in New Haven. I read the transcripts of the allegations against you. You were accused of sexual impropriety then. You fought it. And you won.
Having read the transcript, may I guess at your defense? Ladies and gentlemen of the Judicial Conduct Commission, I put it to you that Judge Alistair McNeil cannot be guilty as charged. He is, as evidenced by this prior unfounded allegation, a bona fide queer, as the term is commonly used and understood.
Judge, I am not suggesting any particular defense. I am asking you why you had none.
You know, I was accused of groping a Marine in a bus terminal men's room. I am gay. I was angry. And at the time, I thought it was important to prove to the people who backed my appointment that they were not wrong, that I was not morally unfit to uphold my office. And when I was exonerated, I vowed I would never go through anything like that again. I have been an excellent jurist. I have served this community exceedingly well.
Which is why I can't believe you'd be willing to walk away from it all. If you're afraid of being stigmatized.
Judge Gray, my sexual identity is no secret. You know. I mean, your colleagues on the commission have been around the court system considerably longer than you have. This is not about fear. I don't give a rat's ass what other people think about me. This is about dignity. My own sense of dignity. Why should I have to affirm my innocence by trotting out my sexuality? You wouldn't have to.
But now people are going to believe that you're guilty of abusing your office.
Well, people can believe what they want to believe. But after 30 years, I should not have to defend myself against a spurious attack brought by a prostitute because she's unhappy about a jail sentence.
Well, I wish I could say that I understand your reasoning, but you're losing everything.
Oh, not everything. My identity's not being a judge, not being gay. There are other things to be.
Mrs. Atamal, thank you for coming.
لازم تقولها خافش لازم تقولها هلا.
I'm the one who attacked my sister. People were talking, and it was a disgrace to my family. I couldn't let that happen. I was very angry with her, and I thought it was what my father would want, what he would expect.
خافش لازم تقولها خلاص لازم تقولها.
I thought my father would kill her. So I thought if I just hurt her, that would be enough. She wouldn't have to die. I know you don't understand, but I love my sister.
Yasin, you understand that you are going to have to talk to the police.
Aisha, come home.
Yes, ma'am. Aisha comes home now.
Hello, Evie. Don't worry, I'm leaving. I'm waiting for my friend to pick me up so I won't be bothering you anymore.
When I was a girl, pregnant young women went into group homes. Their babies went into orphanages. This whole creative adoption thing is different. Maybe it's even better, I don't know. This baby is terribly important to Peter and Jillian. They're willing to do almost anything to make it work, and some people might take advantage of that. I guess I was just trying to protect them, and maybe that's not my place. I'm sorry. But this is the way that parents behave. They do anything to protect their children. That's how I am, and I can guarantee you that's how my son and his wife will be.
You really made me feel bad, you know? I mean, why shouldn't they take care of me? I'm doing something special for them. I'm giving them something that they want. It's not like I think they're really my friends. I'm not that stupid.
I don't know what to say to you, Evie. This whole thing confuses me. I guess maybe if you want your child raised by really good people, you'll stay. If you have other priorities, then maybe you should go. He knew that she was leaving, and he knew that a word, a fragment of a thought, could make her stay. He said nothing. She crossed the street without looking, as if she could not be hurt anymore. The pewter sky was low and thick. Clouds tangled in the highest branches of the birch trees, and the world felt hollow. He thought how easy it would be to disappear, how quietly he could go, how few tracks he would leave behind.
It's a comedy.
Vincent, it's quite something.
It's overwritten.
No, it's not. It's great.
New York Times was impressed. That should tell you something.
Did he die at the end?
No.
Does it sound like he was gonna die or something?
It's a metaphor.
Evie.
I didn't ditch all my classes.
Hey, come on, sit down.
It's nice to see you. Here, you can have some of my pie if you like.
Oh, here, have my pie too.
Yeah,
You're eating for two.
You got
Plenty.
to.
read another one, Mom.
Can we move on to something else?
Read another one, Mom.
No, I mean it.
Read another story, Mom.
One more?
Mom.
That's Lauren. I kind of like to read this one again.
Come on, Mom.
It's good,
Oh,
Vincent.
come on.
It's beautiful.
We had a great time. We saw lizards and bats.
Cool.
Bats are our friends. They don't really suck your blood.
That's good to know.
I'm gonna go show Grandma.
Thank you so much, Amy. We really loved spending time with her.
Oh, well, I'm sure she had a great time, too. Would you like to come in and get something to eat?
Oh, no, thank you.
Coffee? No. We have to get back to the city. Thanks.
We'd love to do it again soon.
Well, great. Maybe I'll come with you. Wouldn't hurt me to have a day off.
Well, we kind of like having our own time with her.
Yeah. Sure. I know what you mean.
Thanks again.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Good to see you, dear.
Me too.
Karen, Bill. I can't stand this. I really want to tell you my side of things. I mean, you were family to me, and I hate the idea of it being so awkward. I just want you to understand.
Amy, please. It's painful enough as it is. You got what you wanted. Now, please, just drop it.
What I wanted?
Have you started your journal?
I bought a diary.
Have you written in it yet?
Well, Michael hasn't really done anything wrong, so...
The journal establishes in the eyes of the court a pattern. When Michael calls Lauren, when he drops her off, when he picks her up, when he makes child support payments, any and all interactions you have with him.
Right, but really it's so if Michael does something bad, I have documentation.
Hey, he's the one that has to do something wrong before that works. Amy, I'm a terrific divorce attorney. That's why you're paying me so much money you can't afford not to live with your mother.
I have a hard time seeing Michael as a bad guy.
Well, try not to dwell on the positive, because he won't.
What do you mean?
I mean, we have to assume he's keeping a journal. I mean, have you ever been late to pick up Lauren? Has he ever seen you have a glass of wine?
Oh, my God.
And then there's the matter of your sexual activity.
Yeah, well, there is no sexual activity. I think my virginity's grown back.
Really? Because Dr. Carroll said the two of you spent an evening reinventing the wheel.
That's a lie.
Does this ring any bells?
Tracy?
You don't have to be modest, Amy.
I barely kissed you.
And then there's Fred Fellman.
Freddie Fellman? That was high school. I didn't sleep with Freddie Fellman. He just told the lacrosse team.
Freddie has a different account.
You lying little worm. Why aren't you older? What are you laughing at?
You're naked.
Oh, I get it.
well, Kemper gets to stay up until 8:30.
Eat your toast.
Stephanie can stay up as long as she wants. Same with Jennifer, and she's 2 months younger than me.
Lauren, I thought we decided together that your bedtime was 8 o'clock.
Daddy and Leisha let me stay up until 10 o'clock.
They do?
Leisha says she's a libertarian. What's that?
Somebody who doesn't have children.
Why should I go to bed when I'm not sleepy?
Because, Lauren, to grow up tall and healthy, you need at least 9 or 10 hours sleep at your age. And mothers care about this more than anybody else. Your friend Chanel, for example, she doesn't care how strong your bones grow.
Chanel stays up for Letterman.
Eat your breakfast.
Trucker by the name of Jack McEachern found the boy curled up in the parking lot this morning about 5.
Curled up as in asleep?
Likely left behind by travelers in his pajamas and all. He won't give us his name.
Mind if I try?
Well, that's why we called John.
Mr. McEachern, I'm Maxine Gray. Good morning.
He's the strong silent type.
Can you read? This badge shows that I am a social worker for the Department of Children and Families. That means you can talk to me. Did your mother and father tell you not to talk to strangers? Well, that's right, but I'm sure that they also told you that it's okay for you to talk to policemen. Mm-hmm. Well, this man is a policeman. Well, what is he then?
A park ranger?
A park ranger?
His pants are poofy.
They're jodhpurs, and I am a real policeman.
If we call a real policeman, will you tell your name and phone number?
Mm-hmm.
Dispatch requesting a local Boy Scout out at Honcho's truck stop on Route 44.
Ow. Oh, Vincent, I'm remarkably sorry.
That's okay. That's, I didn't hear you coming.
You were deep in the artistic fictive dream of the writer.
What time is it?
Almost 9. I gotta get to work. Judge Gray's gavel hits the strike plate at 9:30.
I've been at this computer since 5 a.m. Is there something?
No, of course not, no. Except, me and Oscar's 4-month anniversary is coming up, and I want to give him something special. So I wrote a poem. But I want to be sure it's not stupid.
Well, I'm sure that...
Because Oscar's a real poet. I don't want to humiliate myself.
You want me to read?
Only if you promise to be hard on me.
Oh, I'll be...
Thank you.
One resisting arrest, 1 disorderly conduct, 4 possession of controlled substances, and 1 kid fighting to move to adult court. Are you all right?
I'm not sleeping well. Having these weird dreams.
Cut down on your caffeine.
Without caffeine, I wouldn't be conscious right now. It's a vicious cycle. If I don't get 6 hours sleep, I'm a basket case.
6 hours, huh?
What? I'm a weakling?
No, I'm studying for an exam Friday. I would kill for 6 hours.
An exam? What kind of exam?
We also have King v. Rowan today.
You say that as though it should mean something to me. What, is this night school?
Child psychology. You never heard of King v. Rowan?
No. Are you going to be a child psychologist?
It's a long-term plan. Look, we have a tough day, Judge Gray. Starting with King v. Rowan, so...
Bruce, how tough can it be?
Mom, you're crushing me.
What are we going to do?
Hey, Mark's gonna be fine. We're gonna deal with it.
The doors were all locked. I looked in on him at 2 a.m.
Okay, you okay, buddy?
Up on the stool.
He's okay. Make a muscle. Attaboy.
Want to see a magic trick?
Honey, get the camera out of her face.
Does Mark run away often?
I got no shirt.
It's right here.
He was asleep when they found him, right, Miss Gray?
Yes.
Oh, hey, you can't wear your karate gi to school.
Asleep in a parking lot.
It's the Ace of Hearts.
Somebody get Mark dressed.
Got it. Come on, big man.
Most children prefer a bed to a parking lot.
Why is he doing this? Do you think he needs more exercise?
Mark sleepwalks.
We've taken him to the doctor.
Maybe we should put a bell on him.
So it's happened before.
Got a big sack of kid here.
Try it again.
Last week, our neighbor found him in the backyard about 4 houses down.
It's the Queen of Hearts.
The doctor thinks he might be upset on some level about my going back to work.
Well, I'm sorry for how this sounds, but I'd like your permission to talk to Mark's doctor.
The doctor said it was just a phase.
Mr. Saunders, your son was found asleep in a parking lot. He could have been hurt or abducted.
I'll get the phone number.
Let's do it again.
Why don't you just give me the card you want?
Okay, before we begin the custody hearing, I'd like to rule on Mr. Acuff's motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. My client, Mr. King, would like his 2 children, Danny, age 11, and Nicola, age 7, to direct their own independent counsel.
Paid for by him, no doubt.
Excuse me, I wasn't finished.
We object to this motion, Your Honor. He who pays the piper calls the day.
When the divorce was first granted, the children were too young to articulate their own opinions. But now they are competent individuals with a rational point of view.
You have clearly never dealt with 7 and 11-year-olds. Counsel, no bickering in my court.
He's turned the children against me.
My kids have their own opinions, Judge, which they have formed from their own volition.
Only a fool couldn't see through this transparent ploy. Bizor, I hope you're not implying that if I rule in favor of the motion that I'm a fool. No, of course not, Your Honor. It's not you I think is a fool.
Nice grammar.
Oh, right. I think we're all forgetting that there are rules in this courtroom. He thinks that if the children have their own lawyer, it doubles the number of arguments in his
The
favor.
voices of the children are not being heard in this court.
That is
The voices of the children are not being heard.
Hey, this is a court of law, damn it.
All right, I'm calling for a short recess, during which time counsel can educate their clients on the finer points of courtroom etiquette. Mr. Van Exel. Keep order in my own court, thank you.
That's great. I know you can. I apologize.
Well, maybe 4 hours sleep isn't enough for you, Mr. Smarty Pants.
May I assume, since you're calling me Mr. Smarty Pants, that the official part of the reprimand is over?
God, they hate each other. Even their lawyers hate each other.
Welcome to King v. Rowan. By the way, you have a message from a Ms. Darling confirming your meeting tonight.
Thank you.
Would this be Eloise Darling?
You know her?
She's a well-known barracuda.
Well, she's my divorce barracuda.
And believe me, you have nothing to worry about.
All I'm saying is, it is in your best interest to assume the worst. That way we're ready for anything. And the worst is...
Michael demands sole custody.
What are the arguments he'll use against you?
I don't understand.
You drink too much, you're promiscuous, you put your career ahead of your daughter's best interest.
No, I don't think Michael would say that.
Look, Amy, it's really important that we present you as the superior parent. Now, please, what are Michael's shortcomings?
I guess Michael abdicates responsibility.
What does abdicates responsibility mean?
Oh, sweetie, this is a grown-up conversation.
All the good stuff happens after I go to bed.
No, it doesn't. Hey, Mom!
Daddy lets me stay up until 10.
10? How old are you?
6. Who are you?
This is, Eloise. She's,
Uh-oh.
Ishe, Inde, Irhe, anything. Hey.
I speak Latin, pig.
You should be fast asleep.
I can't sleep.
That's because you eat too much sugar and watch too much television.
Mom!
It's okay. I'm on your side. Come on, I'll tuck you in.
But 10 o'clock is when I get sleepy.
Fine, you can nap till 10 and then go to sleep. A strict bedtime would really be in your favor.
Tell that to her.
Donna?
Sorry. I was striving for silence.
No, that's okay. Listen. Your poem.
Did it blow?
No. It's good.
It is?
Yeah. Fleckless. Like an egg. Like love. Like loneliness. Like a wheel.
I think wheels and eggs and love are perfect. Don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, loneliness is perfect, too.
Perfect doesn't mean good.
Exactly. Listen, don't take this the wrong way, but how did you come up with this?
I just wrote my feelings. Oscar inspires me.
Huh. Maybe I should meet Oscar.
But you have Lisa. I mean, you haven't broken up, have you?
No. No, we haven't broken up. We haven't even... Yeah.
You know, when I was nervous about doing it, I talked to Judge Gray. She knows a lot.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
I mean, wow. She is so creative.
All right. Yeah, no, I get the idea. Yeah.
Thanks.
Mr. and Mrs. Frame, divorced 3 years, share joint legal custody of their 14-year-old daughter, Grace Frame. My client is asking the court to modify the custody agreement in his favor.
On what grounds?
Grace shows real potential to become a world-class gymnast.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Your Honor, but it's not all peaches and cream.
Mr. Frame is against world-class athletes.
My daughter has an opportunity to be extraordinary, but my ex-husband doesn't appreciate that.
That's not true, Your Honor, though he is concerned that his daughter's quality of life is being affected by the constant pressure and grind.
Grace Frame is currently a national age group champion in uneven bars, floor, and vaulting, if I may, Your Honor. She's also a straight A student. Her attendance record is impeccable, and her citizenship marks are beyond reproach. This young woman is a daughter that anyone in their right mind would be proud to claim. I think the photos speak for themselves, Your Honor.
So what's the problem, Mr. Frame?
That's her whole life, Your Honor. Gymnastics and school.
No drugs, no boys.
No fun. I'd like my daughter to live a normal life.
You mean an ordinary life?
Well, you've been unable to come to a compromise on your own.
There is no compromise for excellence, Your Honor.
Sorry? No, reflection on present company.
Maxine, a Dr. Nishimura called in to double-check your credentials.
I told you that photo on my ID was fuzzy.
You're, pursuing a sleepwalking case?
A little boy walks a mile in the middle of the night across a highway. I think it bears some scrutiny.
Did Dr. Nishimura find any signs of abuse?
No. The Saunders are regular visitors to the emergency ward, but there's a good, wholesome explanation for every injury.
Maxine, we have kids being sold for sex, beaten with extension cords, set on fire. Is that not enough for you?
No, Susie. You know my ambition is to root out abuse where there is none.
And if we find no signs of abuse, we move on to the next case, don't we?
That's usually the way it works.
It's Amy Grace, still holding for Michael Cassidy. King v. Rowan, go.
This is the 8th court appearance in 6 years over custody.
8. Yeah, that's a lot. Michael. Yeah, it's me. We need to talk about Lauren's bedtime.
3 court evaluators have identified the mother as the preferred parent.
Because 10 o'clock is too late. Well, I don't care if she says she's tired or not.
One of them testified that Mr. King was seeking custody more to punish the mother than out of any desire to be a full-time father.
Hey, Michael. When a child admits she's tired, it means she's overtired. So I am asking you in a civil manner to please make her go to bed earlier.
Do you need some privacy? Mr. King was chastised for holding back child support and spending money on trips and expensive gifts.
Yeah, meanwhile, the mother wipes out her finances putting braces on the kids. No, Michael. I didn't mean you. So, be a man. Make the little girl go to bed.
Would you like me to start over?
No, I get the gist. The bastard wants me to give him power to torture the woman who's actually doing a pretty good job raising his children.
Okay.
I don't need to be objective about this, Bruce. Do the children, in the eyes of the law, have the right to direct their own legal independent counsel at the ages of 7 and 11? That's the only question I have to worry about.
Mark, do you remember me?
Mm-hmm.
Then you know it's okay with your mommy and daddy if you talk to me.
Yes, they said no secrets.
Do you usually have secrets in your family?
No, everybody knows us.
Really?
Andy's the quarterback, Sylvia got the highest marks, Davy met the mayor, Bryn got a letter from the president,
I'm more interested in you, Mark.
and Brian raised the best chinchillas.
Mark, what do you like to do?
I like to go to my quiet place. I like to go to my quiet place.
Who's that? Would that be your sleepwalker?
It would.
Maxine, I thought we agreed you were going to move on.
We didn't agree, you agreed. And when only one person agrees, it's not binding.
Well, I just have to wonder what legitimate cases are suffering.
Did they teach you that one of the prime indicators of an abused child is a tendency to withdraw? An over-attachment to a secret, safe place? Because this little boy spends half his time under his bed. What's he hiding from?
5 brothers and sisters.
He's a quiet, observant, introspective little boy in a family of showboats.
Being an odd duck does not explain that degree of sleepwalking.
My thoughts, exactly.
Fine, Maxine. And how are you going to investigate these family dynamics? Surveillance, maybe?
That's not a bad idea, Susie. Thank you.
Now, why am I to believe that 2 minor children are capable of directing their own legal counsel?
Because, Your Honor, they have a strong point of view, which has not been heard in
They
court.
want to live with me.
Because you bribed them to feel that way.
Counsel,
With all due respect, Your Honor, I have to argue that this is not simply a matter of law.
On the legal issues alone, you cannot win. This is another shallow ploy by you and your client to torture my client.
My client lives every day in a state of torture, denied his children.
Your client is a bully who has stated time and time again, Your Honor, his intention to harass Miss Rowan until she gives up her children.
Oh, bite me, Roberta.
That would barely be a mouthful.
okay, that's it. Mr. Acuff, Ms. Orr, I'm holding you both in contempt.
Your Honor!
Lock them up. Put them in adjoining cells.
Your Honor.
Let's go. Come on.
Good job. Go to jail. I hope you're happy now.
Me, you're the one who pissed her off.
Oh, shut up.
Aren't you tired of paying this fine?
I need this on my desk by 4. What's your name again?
Vincent,
Vincent, I don't need any book editors or critics. Nice scarf, Helen.
I don't want to write about books.
Thank you. What do you want to do then?
Well, I did a little reporting in college and afterwards, and I'm interested in doing it again.
Yeah, you know, you'd have to be a cub.
Yeah, I know that.
Why would you want to do that?
Honestly, because I have writer's block. And if there's anything I remember about reporting, it pretty much cures you of that.
Yeah, but you'd be writing about crap. And my cub reporters are college kids that I can abuse.
I really want to do this. I could take the abuse.
Okay. I'll tell you what, Vincent. You can cover the Parks Commission meeting this afternoon. If you still want the job after that, then I'm a believer.
Parks Commission. Something big going on?
Not in the entire time I've been at this newspaper.
We have workouts or practice twice a day. Alternate days there are weight sessions. Weekends it's pretty much all day.
What about time off?
After an important meet, we sometimes take a few days. Mr. Trevanion doesn't want us to lose our edge.
Grigor Trevanion is her coach, Your Honor.
You're 14, Grace.
14, and she hasn't had her first period yet, Your Honor.
Objection. A little sensitivity, Mr. Klein. You do look young for your age.
I know. Mr. Tifanin says I'm a late bloomer. It's a good thing for a gymnast not to have breasts. Mr. Tifanin calls them airbags.
I see. Okay. Now, you understand your parents have quite a difference of opinion. What do you want to do?
Well, Mom wants me to keep going. And Mr. Tifanin says only losers quit.
What do you think?
Mr. Tifanin says with the right attitude I could win an Olympic gold medal.
Would you like that?
Only losers quit, Mr. Tifanin says.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Trevannon.
As you can see by footnote 36A, the projected density of the development exceeds the estimate done by the zoning commission.
The zoning commission estimates were superseded by the findings of the land use task force.
However, they were referenced by the state urban development
I don't
committee.
see what the state has to do
Well,
with
sir,
it.
since the park has already been named by the Public Lands Council.
What name?
Martin Luther King Jr. Park.
Get out of here. Anybody hear about this?
No.
Why is it always Martin Luther King?
He was a great man?
Well, yes, he was a great man. But there are other great men just as important to this country. J. Edgar Hoover, for example. Well, what's wrong with J. Edgar Hoover Park?
Mr. Chairhoff, Vincent Gray of the Hartford Globe and Mail.
Nice to meet you, Vince. What'd you do to get sent to the gulag?
I'm looking for some clarification. You really think that J. Edgar Hoover deserves to have a park named after him?
Why, don't you?
I'm really more interested in your point of view.
That man had a tough job. He created the best law enforcement agency in the world. If he had been lucky enough to get shot, he'd have a national holiday, too.
Ms. Orr, Mr. Acuff, I hope I've made it clear that I expect everyone in the courtroom to abide by my rules. Danny, I'm going to ask you some questions, and I'd like you to answer them honestly.
I want to live with my father.
I see. Can you tell me why?
He's a good father. We do stuff.
What kind of stuff?
We go places, the movies, and my mother never takes us to the movies. She never wants to do anything fun.
Your Honor, I think it's quite clear that Danny has been coached.
He's simply telling the truth.
Counsel, I would like to talk to Danny King without interruption. Thank you. Danny, when you get a bad mark in school, what happens?
When my Nintendo gets taken away, I get grounded.
By whom?
Mom,
And what does your dad do?
we don't talk about school.
I mean, when you do something bad, what does your dad do?
We don't do anything bad when we're with him.
Could you bring in Daniel's sister, Nicola? Why do you think you need a lawyer?
Because everyone's against my dad.
Oh, really?
Well, he keeps trying to bring us home with him, and we want to. But the government's against him. And if I had my own lawyer, he'd be able to help me. Because I'd be the boss of him.
Well, thank you, Danny. I appreciate your honesty. Hi, Nicola. I'm Judge Gray. You don't have to be afraid. I just want to talk to you.
It's all right, baby. Be a brave girl. Just say what we talked about. She'll be okay in a minute. Just give her a minute. Come on, baby. Maybe a glass of water.
Hey, quit having an influence on her.
Please, can't we make this stop, please? I'll do whatever you want. Just please make this stop.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, God. It's not one of those abusive babysitter tapes, is it? Because I can't take it.
No, as a matter of fact, it's like watching the Roberto Benigni family.
Should I be offended that you've taken to watching other families' home videos?
I've got a little boy who sleepwalks a mile. Something's wrong in his life. So I borrowed a bunch of their tapes. It's probably a wild goose chase.
They do seem a bit precious.
Do you think it's possible for happiness to be oppressive?
I don't know. Sounds like a pretty high-class problem.
Remember my friend Evelyn?
Oh, God. The one who hummed all the time.
But that's why I had to stop seeing her. She was too damn cheerful. She required me to be cheerful, too.
Yeah, but still, that doesn't qualify as abuse. Will you turn that off?
See? It's driving you crazy.
Well, I'm cranky. I'm getting no sleep. I don't want to be around happiness.
I broke my lamp.
How?
Turning it on because I couldn't sleep.
Lauren, it's a weeknight.
So?
So you need more sleep before school.
Why?
Because sleep makes you smarter. You could stay up until 10 on a school night, but then you'd have a hard time concentrating in class.
No, I wouldn't.
Sweetie, you have to trust me on this. You may not feel sleepy, but you...
Lauren, put down the lamp and go to bed.
But...
Don't argue.
But...
There goes TV for tomorrow. You want to throw in computer games?
Can she take stuff away from me?
I just did. Go to bed. Now.
I can do that in court. Why not here?
You're getting divorced. You're afraid of alienating her. If you take my advice, you'll give yourself permission to be a parent.
Can I go and tuck her in?
All right. Don't take any lip.
Mom, I know they're supposed to be happy, but that sure sounds like murder. Oh, God, Bruce, are you all right?
Judge Gray, I'm sorry. I was just studying.
No. You can use my desk, Bruce. Especially 2 in the morning. No, I just came to look up some sentencing guidelines.
Still can't sleep, huh?
Yeah, it's this custody thing.
King v. Rowan?
Oh, Michael v. me. What are you doing?
I keep an extra shirt in my bag.
Oh, that's smart.
Judge Gray.
Hey, Donna.
You got the metro section?
Never read it. It's too depressing. Allergies. Technological marvel.
Hey, what do you think of that?
Ugh, what a jerk. I already heard it on the news.
The TV news?
Yeah.
I must have picked up my story. It's probably on the AP.
Your story?
Yeah. I wrote this.
You did? Wow, you did. You're so multi-talented. Are you going to be a reporter now?
I guess I am.
That's great. I just need to get laid. Too far?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Grace Frame has the talent. If she is not lazy in her head, she will go far.
Well, that's not what I asked you, Mr. Trevannon.
It is the important facts. What you want to know is not important.
Well, nonetheless, this is my courtroom, and I'm asking you, does Grace Frame enjoy gymnastics?
It's very hard for you to understand.
Really?
You have not led extraordinary life. You are coming.
Hey.
I'm sorry, but it's true. If you had done more with your life, aimed higher, you would not be stuck in this shabby place.
Your Honor, I just want to remind the court that Mr. Trevannon is an immigrant, and so his English might seem a bit abrupt.
Uh-huh. Well, if we could return to Grace Frame, what about her is pertinent?
She's a good girl. She does what she's told. She wins the meet, and she pays attention.
She doesn't argue with you?
Never.
She's never willful?
I would not permit.
She follows your instructions without complaining?
I insist on this from all my girls.
Well, thank you, Mr. Trevannon. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
A brief recess?
No, I'm ready to make my ruling. I'm extremely loath to remove custody from Mrs. Frame, at least without a thorough psych evaluation. My best guess is that the evaluation will show Grace Frame to be stunted, both emotionally and physically, because of an over-arrogant, bullying coach.
But he's the best coach in the world.
So he informed us. But if the evaluation comes back the way I think it will, then I will consider modifying the custody agreement in Mr. Frame's favor.
Oh, why?
I understand the sacrifices necessary to become an extraordinary person. But Grace Frame shows no passion for gymnastics, no fire. And unlike you, I am not willing to let an impressionable child be bullied into making those kinds of sacrifices.
Your Honor, is there anything my client can do to prove her commitment to Grace's well-being?
Well, if Grace were to change coaches, I might look upon that as a significant sign that Mrs. Frame puts her daughter's interests first. Thank you.
Mr. and Mrs. Saunders, I suspect you're going to have some problems with what I'm about to tell you.
Oh, my God, you're not going to take Mark, are you?
But we've cooperated in every way.
I don't want to have to disrupt what is, by all accounts, a very loving family, but I think I've discovered something that you need to know.
About Mark?
Yes.
I'm out of here.
And the fact is that Mark is not like the rest of you.
You mean he's not normal?
Actually, he is normal. The rest of you are high-spirited.
Well, yeah, Mark is shyer than our other kids, but we've been working on that.
You try to draw him out of his shell. I think that's maybe a mistake.
We don't want him to go through life missing the fun.
So, to cheer him up, you...
Make him take part in our games. You know, we just don't want him to hide away.
I can't help but noticing on your tapes that you all tickle him a lot.
What's wrong with tickling? I mean, it's the only time we get to hear the poor little guy laugh.
He begs you to stop, and you don't.
It's just a game.
Not to him.
What are you saying, that Mark can't distinguish between tickling and what, a beating?
That's exactly what I'm saying, Mr. Saunders. In both cases, the child experiences a loss of power. He feels helpless and humiliated.
You can't be serious.
You heard him laughing.
That's not laughter, that's hysteria. He feels as helpless and brutalized as if you were beating him.
Mark is sleepwalking because we tickle him.
We just want Mark to be happy like our other kids.
I'm afraid you want him to seem happy. There's a very big difference. Do your son a favor, just let him be.
Okay, I'm ready to rule on Mr. Acuff's motion that the minor children of Jack King and Tara Rowan be allowed to direct their own independent counsel. Now, it is obvious to me that these ongoing custody hearings have become so rancorous that the children do need representation which attends to their needs first and foremost. But, in addition, I am also ordering the guardian ad litem be appointed to safeguard the children's interests.
A guardian ad litem is usually appointed in neglect or abuse cases.
In my opinion, this is an abuse case, Mr. Acuff. In my opinion, these children are being abused by a father who wants to strike back at his ex-wife through his children. And the only ones suffering more than she is are the children.
I don't understand.
A guardian ad litem is charged by the court to pursue the best interests of the child, even if counter to the child's stated desires, especially in a situation where the children may have been unduly influenced.
The court is overstepping the issue before it.
Well, we all have to stretch in life, Mr. Acuff. I'm ordering a continuance in the King versus Rowan custody hearing to give the guardian ad litem time to evaluate Danny and Nicola's best interests.
Maybe you get a decent sleep tonight.
Not if I keep having these wacky dreams.
Dreams? What kind of dreams?
Nothing. I mean, just stupid. Meaningless, really.
Well, dreams are wish fulfillment, you know.
Well, not always. I mean, sometimes you just dream stuff. Like when you eat cheese.
I must have missed that lecture on Freud.
Freud was a cocaine addict who was in love with his mother. Good night.
Good night.
You're still awake?
Well, look who's talking.
This is my personal quiet time.
I'm afraid to sleep. Dreams are freaking me out.
Really? That bad?
I dreamed I kissed Bruce. My CSO.
You need to have sex. Well, you do. But your age, please. You're not having sex, it starts to affect your brain.
I can't believe you're saying that.
It hasn't crossed your mind?
Yeah, once. A day.
That's like breathing or eating. It makes you healthier. Thank God your father and I were always on the same page about that.
Oh, Ma.
Things will change. You'll meet somebody.
What if I don't?
You will.
God, I miss it, Mom. Miss the whole thing. Being in a relationship. Having a partner. Somebody who can finish my sentences. Knows where all my scars are. Somebody I can talk to in the middle of the night. Somebody with a penis.
When one separates us from madness, around the veils of gossamer, a veneer of strength betrays us and slips away like rain. And this is the hour where every burden is unloaded. Our souls will fly until we cannot feel the sting. And we will dream till the moment has exploded down to a stillness that only love can bring.
This hearing concerns a motion to suppress the evidence that was seized from Mr. Henderson when he was searched by the police. Mr. Henderson was playing basketball in the neighborhood park when Ed Dunsmore's dog, Cyrano, sniffed out some contraband in the defendant's gym bag. Mr. Dunsmore called the police, who acted on the tip, searched the bag, and discovered 2 ounces of marijuana. Mr. Henderson was arrested, and here we all are. Is that about it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Dunsmore, what's up with Cyrano? How does he know what marijuana smells like?
Ma'am, Cyrano was trained to detect drugs hidden in shipments offloaded in Boston Harbor. I got him when he cashiered out of the Boston PD, ma'am.
And why were you in the park that day?
I'm a member of the Neighborhood Watch program, and that's where this little scumbag hangs out.
Alleged scumbag, Mr. Dunsmore.
What, ma'am?
Stop calling me ma'am. It makes me feel like the Queen Mother. Judge Gray or Your Honor will do.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, the police had no probable cause to search my client's gym bag. There might have been a sandwich in there. I could have gotten his attention, too.
The dog knows the difference between contraband and a sandwich, Your Honor. These are highly trained dogs. This was a good search.
She makes a good point, Mr. Martlett. And neither Mr. Dunsmore nor Cyrano was working for any law enforcement agency at the time, so they weren't subject to constitutional restrictions on search and seizure. Mr. Dunsmore was merely reporting what he believed to be a crime.
May I remind the court that this is a case dispositive motion. Allowing this would be tantamount to dismissal of the charges.
Thanks for the newsflash, counsel. These are murky legal waters. I want counsel to submit your arguments in writing, citing precedents to support your case. Moving on. Donna, your hair.
Do you like it? My stylist thought my hair looked a little lachrymose.
Lachrymose?
It means really sad or inclined.
No, I know what it means. I've just never heard it applied to hair.
Do you like it?
It's nice.
You see, that's his head, and that's his hand. He's sucking his thumb. Do you see it?
Vaguely.
Those are the legs, the feet, and right there, the penis.
You said penis.
Yes, I did.
That's a bad word.
No, not when it's that small.
Isn't he beautiful?
Well, yes, he seems very nice.
Can somebody help me?
Are you retaking the bar?
No, I'm teaching a class at Yale.
You are?
Mommy, Aunt Joan has a picture of her baby. He has a penis.
Let me see.
If that's Aunt Joanne's baby, why is he in Evie's stomach?
Because they're adopting him. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, but why doesn't Evie want him?
Because she thinks we can do a better job taking care of him.
Amy, why on earth are you teaching a class at Yale?
Because they asked me.
There's a handy little 2-letter word you might want to learn.
Mom, it's an honor to be asked. You should be congratulating me.
I'll congratulate you when you learn how to take a nap. Hello?
Let's go.
Yes. I remember him. Well, where's he now? All right, I'm on my way. Off to a flying start. Joe Bouzzard. We meet again.
What's up, Miss Gray? How you doing?
I'm a little testy since I didn't finish my breakfast. The next time you decide to shoplift something, why don't you wait till after lunch?
Okay. Yeah, but only for you.
It's been a long time. Are you 16?
I'm 15.
I trust you put the last 5 years to productive use.
Still in school. Ain't been in jail yet.
Still in foster care?
No, I'm back home with Dad now.
Has he stopped drinking?
Yeah. You know, has trouble working, though. He still gets depressed about my mom. You remember about my mom?
Yes, I remember. That was very hard on you.
I'm doing good now, though.
Then why had they detained you in a department store? Why did you call me? Why not call your dad?
You were always straight with me back in the day. Look, I messed up, I know. You know, but I'll pay for that aftershave.
That's up to the store.
What, are they gonna call the cops?
I'll talk to the police for you. But if I find out you've been stealing other things, the police will be the least of your worries.
I got a call from one of my moles at HPD. The vice president of the Chamber of Commerce got whacked last night in a carjacking.
God, what happened?
If I knew that, what the hell would I need you for? All I know is somebody capped him. Now, here's the money shot. When the paramedics get there, they think they're treating a female because he's wearing women's clothes.
Wow.
Best part? The guy's a militant homo hater.
That's fun. All right, I'll start with the cops.
What happened is going to be on the radio in 1 hour. Go talk to the grieving widow and ask her about his clothes.
Why would she want to talk to me about that?
Because you are going to sweet talk her into spilling her guts. And then you're going to write it up and you're going to get it to me yesterday. Hey, Diane, get me Zach Benton on the phone. I want to talk to him about his op-ed piece.
You got it.
Let's go, Vincent. We don't have all day.
Ms. Romano suffered a brain injury 5 years ago that left her with the mental capacity of a 12-year-old. As tragic as that accident was, DCF is convinced it rendered her an unfit mother as well.
How so?
The baby, 10 months old, is significantly behind the birth rate growth curve. This clearly constitutes a failure to thrive and justifies the removal of the child from the home.
Is there any father or family?
No husband, no family.
Well, I see Ms. Romano has been evaluated previously as to her mental condition. What brought this to your attention?
We were called when she brought the baby to the hospital due to a high fever.
So it's due to the weight loss that DCF feels Ms. Romano is challenged beyond her abilities?
Yes, being underweight can be very detrimental to an infant's development. And as the child becomes older, her needs will become increasingly more demanding.
Martina, do you know why you're here?
Some people think I can't take care of Elena. But I can.
May I see Elena? Oh, no, I didn't mean... okay. She's beautiful.
Her name's Elena. She's my daughter.
If it please the court...
Save it, Counselor. We're going to go to trial.
Then DCF requests an OTC to evaluate the child's health.
Fine, Miss Richardson. I'm issuing an order of temporary custody for Elena Romano, effective immediately. I want the court physician to examine the child and DCF to evaluate the Romano home before we reconvene,
Tuesday, 10 o'clock.
Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Adjourned.
Why are they taking her? No. 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 Elena. No.
Marcy Watson?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Vincent Gray. I'm wondering if I could ask you some questions about your husband's death.
Are you with the police?
No, I'm not. I'm with the Hartford Examiner.
I'm sorry, I have nothing to say.
Why was your husband wearing women's clothes when he died?
Did you say your name was Vincent?
Yes, ma'am.
Vincent. Please, leave us alone.
I'm sorry about you.
It looks as if I woke you up, Mr. Broussard. Don't you have to work today?
I worked last night. Is that why you come by, Miss Gray, to be sure that I'm working? Because let me tell you, I'm working my ass off to take care
I'm
of...
here because of Joe.
What's he done? Not that I'm not tickled to see you again.
He was caught shoplifting. I haven't seen him in 5 years, but he had the store call me. Have you any idea why?
Yeah. He knows I'd ground him, take away his damn skateboard. What'd you do to him?
Mr. Broussard, the last time I saw you, you were lying in your own vomit on a gurney in County Hospital.
Hey, I quit drinking.
In the 6 months that he's been back with you, Joe has had trouble at school, and now he's been caught stealing. I need to know what's going on here, and I don't need your attitude.
I don't know. He doesn't talk to me much. Talks to a shrink.
He's seeing a therapist?
Some broad. She's supposed to be an authority on kids whose mothers have killed themselves. Like it's some new fad or something.
Can you give me his therapist's name? I'd like to talk with her.
I don't know. Dr. Kumbaya or something.
Dr. Kubiak?
I guess. You guys pay her. I sure wouldn't.
All right, thanks.
Hey, Greg. What the hell is this?
It's a brief on Bill Watson's murder.
I didn't want a brief. I wanted a quote from the widow.
I didn't get that.
Why not?
I went to the woman's house. I stuck my foot in the door. She was repulsed.
That's good. Now get her to say she's repulsed, and that's worth printing.
I'm not going to torture this woman. Besides, I think there's a better angle on this story than the predictable reaction, she's upset, news at 11.
Oh, you got a better angle. Like what?
Like who he was, what he did with his life.
Maybe someone else saw him in a dress?
I don't know. Maybe. I need to do some research. Just give me one day.
Did you hear that, everybody? Vincent wants another day. I want it by this afternoon.
The use of drug-sniffing dogs has usually been confined to airports or high-stakes drug busts. And recently, the use of these dogs has become more widespread. Now, some regard this as a further intrusion into our ever-shrinking privacy, while others regard them as a big weapon in the war against drugs.
And that's why I paid top dollar for this well-proven weapon, Your Honor.
And I appreciate your commitment to cleaning up your neighborhood, Mr. Dunsmore. I only wish the police had used their own dogs to verify your complaint before they opened the gym bag.
Your Honor, our patrol and apprehension of this scumbag just got one more drug dealer off the street, ma'am.
Were you in the military, Mr. Dunsmore?
No, ma'am, I was not privileged to serve my country as a soldier. I have a bum wheel.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Dunsmore, but while Cyrano may have done a good job, the police did not. This case is dismissed based on the fact that this was an illegal search and seizure.
Well, in a war, there are no rules. You know, you just take out your enemy any way you can. Cyrano! Hey!
You better get your dog out of here or you will find yourself cuffed and jailed.
A man should have the right to protect and defend his own neighborhood. But don't like that! I'm not the bad guy here! Cyrano, come!
It's great. I'm surprised we haven't met. I do a lot of work with DCF.
Your reputation precedes you, Doctor.
You've read my books?
No, but I saw you on the Today Show.
Oh, that was a nice spot. So, what can I do for you?
I'm working with Joe Broussard. I understand that you've been seeing him for a little over a year.
Well, yes, your office referred him. I specialize in adolescent grief therapy.
Yes. And has Joe made progress in dealing with his mother's suicide?
Yes. Up and down. His mother's death was an abandonment, and in Joe's mind, so was his father's drinking.
Maybe in some way he blames himself for what happened?
Ms. Gray, let me assure you I am very much on top of Joe's issues.
According to Joe's principal, he's been skipping classes, his grades have fallen, and now this shoplifting incident.
Shoplifting is a fairly benign cry for help. He's going to have those incidents.
It's my understanding that Joe was doing well until recently.
Miss Gray, I respect the work you people do. You offer an important service. And though I'm sure it sometimes feels that way, you're not trained to psychoanalyze children. That is better left to the experts.
I didn't mean to encroach on your territory.
It's fine.
Dr. Kubiak, I'm concerned that perhaps Joe's father is drinking again.
There's a confidentiality issue here. But I can say that Joe's acting out would be consistent with a lapse in his father's sobriety.
That'll do it.
You cut all the pertinent details.
The guy was a prominent local politician who strongly opposed gay rights. He was found dead wearing a pink Betsy Johnson stretch frock and Christian Dior lingerie. That's all we need to know.
He was also a medic during the Vietnam War. He was a volunteer fireman. He worked in the literacy campaign.
Pardon me while I yawn.
Don't make him out to be some dope in a dress.
Vincent, I run a newspaper. I print what people want to read.
Cutting this stuff is misleading. Most cross-dressers aren't gay. We can't imply that he was. He was happily married. He was a complicated man. What were you doing during the Vietnam War?
I wasn't painting my nails, I'll tell you that much. All right. And make sure it was a Betsy Johnson.
Oh, I never heard you come in.
Don't talk. Procedural protections for delaying... Got it.
What time is Michael bringing Lauren home?
Soon.
Well, it's awfully late for school night, isn't it?
Yeah. Mom, I really have to get these cards together for my seminar tonight.
This may come as a surprise to you, Amy, but no one's grading you. You don't get extra credit for wearing yourself out.
Hey. I had a hot dog and a pretzel and a hot chocolate.
There's one for your journal.
Did Daddy just drop you off?
No, Alicia. She got a new car, so she likes to drive. It's a B and a W.
Well, That's nice of her. What is that on your ears?
Earrings. We got them pierced.
We did what?
Lisa took me. She got hers pierced when she was 6.
Lauren, I have told you again and again.
I know you said 13, but that's too long.
I am your mother. I make the rules. Lauren, we are going to have a serious talk about this tomorrow, but I have to go out, so Grandma's going to put you to bed. Go wash up. Can you believe that? The woman is putting holes in my daughter's ears. Do I really have to call up Michael and say, hey, Michael, when I send Lauren to you, I pretty much want her back in the same condition? And take the earrings out, the holes will grow back. Oh, great. Well, then I'm the bad guy. It's a no-win situation. I can't win. Amy, your students are waiting. Poor things. Some legislators believe our kids are growing up a lot more quickly than they used to, and their misbehavior has become more adult, too. Therefore, the juvenile court system has gone from an exclusively rehabilitative system to a system that incorporates both rehabilitation and retribution. Are there any questions? Guy in the blue sweater.
What are your views on sibling visitation and placement, looking at, for example, In re Hugo in Massachusetts?
Well, I'd really prefer to stick to Connecticut law. I'm much more familiar with...
Are you saying you're not familiar with Hugo?
No. I've heard of it, but you have no idea how much material I have to read. So, let me write that down, and I'll have a better informed answer for you next week. Any other questions? Yeah.
We've been having long discussions in every law class on the new study out of Harvard concerning teenage boys and their changed status in society since World War I. As a family court judge, how does that study affect your court?
Well, very little, since most of the teenage boys I see haven't read the study. I wonder if you could be a little bit more specific as to which aspect of the study you're referring to.
Never mind.
No. Well, we're out of time, so see you next week.
We could go for something simple. Stars, moons, pastels.
Too boring.
Peter wants a Western theme, but I don't like the violent imagery.
Nothing wrong with cowboys. I played with toy guns. Look how I turned out.
Actually, you preferred dolls until you were 6.
They were boy dolls.
Returning your microwave.
I gave you that. There's no need to return it.
Donna's got a better one.
We'll take it. Edie could use it. Where is the Princess Evie living these days?
Oh, we got her a modest apartment.
Peter!
It's a tax write-off.
I've already read your article, Vincent.
Yeah, what'd you think of it?
Honestly,
Okay, I get the picture.
I knew Bill Watson. He was a nice enough man, terrible politician, but I always thought that was in his favor. I don't think he deserved that kind of a send-off.
This is a balanced piece. I did a fair amount of research.
Yes, you did a delightful job of describing the dress he died in.
Let me see that.
Mom, the fact is he died in a dress.
That Western theme is sounding better, isn't it?
Poor man.
He also served in Vietnam. Why am I telling you this? It's all in there, and I have to fight to get it in.
Nobody cares about anything but the dress.
That's not my fault.
Vincent, you never asked me what I thought of your becoming a journalist, but now that it's come up,
You're gonna tell me.
it's not a noble profession. It was at one time, maybe, but now it's nothing but glorified mudslinging. You're better than that.
You think we should cover up the fact that he died dressed as a woman?
Oh, I love Betsy Johnson. I'm sure it's someone's job to tell that story. I can't believe it's yours.
Okay, thank you for the microwave. I hope that Evie enjoys it.
Give it to me. Oh.
All I wanted to do was go home and put on my jammies and buy every piece of bad jewelry off the Home Shopping Network.
I tried to tell you.
I got off to a slow start. I won him over.
Do you really need a bunch of self-important law students to validate you?
No. Yeah, maybe.
So I need the odd pat on the back. How does that distinguish me from every other overachiever?
Hi, Judge Gray.
Hi, Donna. Is she starting to look like me?
She's trying.
Some people think they're creepy.
Well, my dad calls them rats with wings.
Well, they may not be very classy, but there's something straightforward about them. As in, hey, you've got bread and an opposable thumb. Tear me off a piece. Joe? I've talked to your dad. I've talked to school, your therapist. Nobody seems to know what's going on with you.
I'm just chilling. You know, doing the school thing, seeing my shrink.
Shoplifting?
I know, that was a one-time deal.
You think about your mother a lot?
Yeah. You know, but I try to keep it together for my dad. He still has all our clothes and stuff.
When you lose someone that you've loved and made a life with, the pain lasts for a long time.
One day, Amanda and I were driving around, and I saw my dad alone, just staring down at the road.
Joe, did you say you and Amanda were driving? Do you mean Dr. Kubiak?
Yeah, she drove me home a couple of times after our appointments.
But you said you were driving around.
Did I? Yeah, I meant she was just driving me home.
Why were you and Dr. Kubiak driving around?
You wouldn't understand.
Try me.
Dr. Kubiak and I just have a special friendship.
Elena appears more like a baby of 7 or 8 months. Records indicate she's never had any well baby checks and has never had the proper vaccinations.
Has she had any serious illnesses?
No, but Elena at 2 months was in the 50th percentile in weight for all babies, but now she's dropped to the 5th percentile. That's an alarming deterioration.
Doctor, are there any other findings that corroborated the diagnosis of failure to thrive?
Yes, the baby also suffers from an iron deficiency.
And that is a direct result of the child not being properly fed, is it not?
Absolutely.
That's all, Your Honor.
Dr. Haney, what about the usual things a 10-month-old can do? Sitting up, crawling?
Oh, she's developmentally on schedule. For now.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yes, I'd like to call Martina Romano to the stand.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Ms. Romano, you are Elena's mother,
Yes.
and you take care of her yourself?
Yes.
Do you understand Dr. Haney's concern?
He says Elena's too little.
Do you know why she is?
He says I don't feed her enough, but that's just because she got too fat.
Martina, why do you think that?
People would tell me. The lady at the grocery store, she said, you feed that baby too much, she's fat.
And you believed her?
Yes. Also, when we went to the park, a lady said, that's such a big girl. I didn't want anyone to laugh at Elena.
I am so sorry to be late.
Oh, well, we're all allowed a little controlling behavior now and then.
I realize that your time is valuable, so, I had an opportunity to speak with Joe Broussard this morning, and I am disturbed.
How so?
He seems to think that you two have a special relationship.
Well, that's not surprising. It's called transference. We've been working very closely together, and Joseph is badly in need of a mother figure.
I don't think he sees you as his mother.
I'm sorry, I should have explained it more simply. Joe is experiencing deep emotions for me because he feels I truly know him. And for an adolescent boy with no mother, he may have mistaken my interest in him for romantic feelings. That is what you're implying.
Yes. And it makes me wonder if perhaps he should see a male therapist.
At the risk of offending you, Ms. Gray, I have to remind you that you're not qualified to make a decision like that. It's actually important that I don't disappear at this juncture. Joe would experience that as another loss.
That makes sense. It's just that he's come so far.
I'm going to bend the rules a little bit here. I have to tell you that when I met Joe, he had a similar delusion about you.
I beg your pardon?
I checked my records, and he told me that his social worker, that would be you,
Yes?
had expressed an interest in adopting him. You said he was the kind of son you'd always wanted.
I never said that.
Well, that's my point exactly. He's a disturbed boy, which is why I made no formal inquiry.
So I tried to see
You're Lauren's mother. Oh, I would know you anywhere, even if I hadn't seen your pictures.
Hi, Alicia.
Hi. I think it was such a healthy idea for us to meet.
Yeah, well, I think we needed to get clear on some things.
Oh, I agree. Waiter, coffee, please. So, Modern Families, huh? The ex-wife and the girlfriend. It's like a mini-series.
Yes.
Listen, before you say anything, I just want to tell you what a fabulous kid I think Lauren is. But I'm always telling Michael, Amy must be an incredible person. Michael gives you full credit for the way she's turned out.
Oh, that's nice.
Ladies,
Thank you. I will have a fruit salad with low-fat yogurt.
Could I get a grilled cheese on rye?
Thanks. Sure, if you're born with that body. Michael's right. You are stunningly beautiful.
Michael said that?
Thank God I've had therapy, huh?
Well, look, Alicia, we don't really know each other. And the thing is, the only thing we have in common is my ex-husband and my daughter, which means that...
Don't worry. I'm not threatened. Really. I mean, Michael said your marriage was like the Hindenburg, which I guess was a pretty big disaster. Oh, I mean, he respects you and all. Don't get me wrong.
I'm upset because you took Lauren to get her ears pierced.
Really?
Of course, really. I told her she couldn't do that until she was 13.
I had no idea.
Well, I assumed that before you allowed my daughter to have her body permanently altered, that you'd think about consulting me.
I guess that I thought it might create a bond between the two of us.
Well, I'm sure it has, but I'm the mother. I need to be consulted.
Michael thought you might take Lauren's attachment to me very badly.
Well, Michael's wrong. I'm glad she has you in her life. The more people who love her, the better.
Really, Amy?
Yeah. Really, Alicia.
Okay. Maybe I did step over the line. But look, the truth is I'm a part of Lauren's life, like it or not. And I can't call you every time I want to put a curler in her hair.
Well, fine. Curlers you don't have to call. Drilling holes you do. And as far as being a part of her life, that's fine. You're a part. You're not the center. You're not a parent.
I'll pay.
That's okay.
Michael said that you always like to have the last word.
You know, Alicia, you might want to watch how many sentences you begin with Michael said. People might think you didn't have thoughts of your own.
It's all your fault. What did you do? What did you say?
Joe, calm down.
How could you do this?
Calm
I
down.
trusted
Now,
you.
Let's go somewhere where we can talk.
She says she can't see me anymore. I mean, what's that about? What, did you threaten her?
Dr. Kubiak and I talked. It seemed obvious to both of us that you have an unrealistic idea of the nature of your relationship.
Well, she said that?
Joe, she's your therapist, that's all. Anything else you've imagined is all wrong.
Oh, yeah, it's in my head. I made it all up.
Maybe you've romanticized her.
Look, I am not crazy. She told me she loved me. She said it was real, that it wasn't just about sex.
What do you mean?
It wasn't just sex. That's English, isn't it?
Joe, do you really think you have that kind of relationship with Dr. Kubiak?
She made me swear on my mother's grave that I would burn these. You know, but I didn't do it. Now tell me I imagined it.
Hey, Amy up?
Up and going.
She's gone. I was supposed to go running with her.
Well, I guess she forgot. She's taken on too much work as usual.
I wonder where she got that from. Hey, Mom. Can I talk to you about yesterday?
What?
What she said about my article?
Vincent, please, I'm in the middle of a troubling case, and I honestly can't take a dressing down.
Okay, I'll be brief. Listen, this is my job. I actually like it. I don't think there's anything necessarily ignoble about it. I don't really need your approval, but I'd appreciate if you wouldn't go out of your way to run me down.
Fine. Is that it?
Yeah.
Things change pretty quickly around here. Forgive me if I can't keep up. Seems like yesterday you were a short story writer.
I still am.
Now you're Jimmy Olsen. Peter and Jillian are still dancing attendance on the child who's carrying their child. Amy's disappeared on everybody, including Lauren, who's buddying up with her father's girlfriend. And the man I thought I knew died in a dress. There used to be lines, and you either crossed them or you didn't. Now it's all over the map. Who the hell knows what a moral choice is? Is there such a thing anymore?
This is a rhetorical question.
No, it's not. You're young, you're invested in the future. Tell me, is the civilization intact, or is it just a free-for-all?
I think that most moral choices are simple and personal. You make them every day and they add up. Little things, like admitting when you're wrong.
Judge Gray, I'm sorry.
That's all right, Bruce. Just came in early to work on this Yale thing.
Right. How's that going?
It's a hellish nightmare with a hair stuck to it.
Did you know the day Winston Churchill became Prime Minister of England, his aides woke him up that night to tell him that the Nazis invaded France?
No, I didn't.
I try to remember that when I think I'm having a bad day.
Yeah, perspective. Just what I need. And thanks for reminding me of yet another thing I didn't know.
See you in court.
Excuse me, you can't go in there. It must be very hard to feel that way, and I understand. Miss Gray, what do you think you're doing?
The police would very much like to talk to you, Dr. Kubiak.
About what?
They have a warrant for your arrest.
Katie, wait outside.
All right.
How could you do this? He's just a boy.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I hope that's your lawyer you're calling.
It is, and I hope you're prepared for a protracted lawsuit. Do you have any idea who I am? I am an undisputed expert in the field of child psychology.
And a statutory rapist.
How dare you?
You violated every code of ethics I can think of.
You honestly believe an emotionally disturbed teenager? If so, you're the one who needs help.
I read your letters. I turned them over to the authorities.
This is a colossal misunderstanding.
I couldn't agree more.
While it's true that Ms. Romano's baby is underweight, there are two categories of failure to thrive. One is environmental, where the atmosphere is so stressful that the child can't eat. The other is failure to provide adequate nutrition. It is this second category that brings Ms. Romano into the court. However, Ms. Romano did not underfeed her baby out of neglect. She did so out of concern, a desire to be a good parent. Because of her special circumstances, she is limited in her understanding of how to do that. It's my opinion that with proper guidance, this situation can be remedied. I hereby give custody of Elena back to her mother.
Thank you, Judge Gray. Thank you so much. You're a very good judge.
Now, how's that for validation?
It's not bad.
Dama? Judge Gray?
Straighten your hair. Don't dress like me.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you. There is a line. There's a line.
Joe?
Don't come back here. You got that?
You need to talk to someone. You need help.
Yeah, well, I see how you help.
I understand how you've suffered, but you have to understand I am not the person who betrayed you. Dr. Kubiak...
Don't you talk about her.
She betrayed your trust.
I said don't.
Joe, that's not what love is.
Shut up.
Joe.
Shut up.
What are you doing here?
Babysitting. Amy's teaching, remember?
Oh, yes. Can I fix you something to eat?
No, thanks. I gotta get home.
There's a tuna casserole in the fridge. It will only take a minute.
I already ate, thanks.
Well, good night, then.
Good night.
Vincent?
Okay, moving on to...
Excuse me. I asked last week about In re Hugo. You said you'd do some research so we could discuss it.
I'm sorry. I couldn't find the time.
With all due respect, I was promised an overall view of family law, not just what you happen to be familiar with.
And you are?
Eric Mullins.
Mr. Mullins, I didn't get around to your precious In re Hugo because I've presided over 150 cases this week. And when I do get to it, that kind of work will be done by some lowly clerk who most likely will be some contumacious parvenu like yourself.
What does that mean?
Do some research on it and get back to us next week. Any other questions? If the American judicial system were a restaurant, then family court would be a table by the kitchen. Hardly anybody wants to sit there, but let me assure you that nowhere are the stakes higher. For example, you wear the robe for this one, Mr. Mullins. An adopted 30-year-old woman has located her birth mother and wants to talk to her, citing her right to know her heritage. The mother has no desire to reunite and argues that the state promised her anonymity for life. What do you do?
I do a search through case law to find rulings in similar cases.
Well, you don't have time for that. You've got 30 cases that day, and the presiding judge considers your docket light already.
Then I make a lowly clerk do it.
And what are you doing? Showing slides from your last vacation? You're hungry. You missed lunch because of a judicial pretrial. The parties are getting restless. People are impatient. The lawyers are screaming. The babies are crying. What do you do, Mr. Mullins?
You're the judge. What?
I'd carry it over till next week. It's getting a little hectic in there for me. I mean, you laughed. That is an accurate picture, and the case is real. People think that the law will fit neatly into any scenario brought into court, but it seldom does. A fair decision requires interpretation, the influence of similar precedents, and gut instinct. Then imagine that you hear 60 cases a day, one every 8 minutes. And you can imagine what a juvenile and family law judge is up against.
8 minutes? We only had 3 cases on our last exam and we had 2 hours?
Then enjoy your time here. And when you leave, come out with guns blazing. It's going to be about 20 years before you have time for a decent nap. The law is a living thing. It evolves every day, every minute. It changes so quickly that most of the rulings you've memorized will be obsolete before you pass the bar. But here's the one thing that doesn't change. Family. And while our definition of what family is changes all the time, the family remains the cornerstone of civilization. It always has been. So, who among you is going to follow me into family law? Not many. Only the best.
Hey, this is Vincent. Leave me a message.
Vincent, I was wrong.
Love you too, Mom.
Damn it.
All right, it's your choice. It's going to be a long day. Nobody's going to be here to let you out.
Oh. Mom, it's time, okay? Please get the roof fixed.
My backpack got rain on. My book report's all spongy now.
Well, a little water never hurt anyone.
Here, give me those.
You want a cinnamon roll?
This is ridiculous. It's getting worse. The rug upstairs still smells like wet dog from the last time it rained.
It's supposed to clear up this afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Experience tells me that it will rain again.
It doesn't really bother me. Isn't that funny? Anyway, I'm sure you've got more important things to worry about. I know I do.
Look, Mommy, puddles.
This is a petition filed by Eric Capano, seeking legal guardianship of his stepdaughter, Carolyn Brody, following the death of her mother. Is Carolyn's father present?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
My client is Carolyn's biological father, Your Honor, Paul Brody.
And my client, Eric Capano, is her de facto father.
Mr. Capano is Carolyn's stepfather.
Who's raised Carolyn since she was a year and a half.
Carolyn is now 7.
He hasn't seen her since she was 3.
Mr. Brody's maintained contact with his daughter since the day he and her mother separated.
Some contact, letters and phone
He
calls.
sends her gifts at Christmas and birthdays.
Counsel, let's stick to the pertinent facts, shall we? Carolyn's mother passed away 6 weeks ago, and you're petitioning for full custody, Mr. Capano.
Yes, Your Honor.
Eric Capano and Carolyn are extremely close and bonded. He's her soccer coach, takes her to dance classes, he tucks her in at night. He's a very active and supportive parent. He's her de facto dad.
As you've said.
Paul Brody is her real dad, and as such has parental rights. There's certainly no question, at least in the eyes of the law, Carolyn should be with her father.
Well, it's tough to be a father from a distance.
Why has there been so little visitation, Mr. Lassiter, if your client lives an hour away?
Until recently, Mr. Brody couldn't.
He couldn't?
He's afraid of getting cooties.
Mr. Brody has OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and his particular obsession is with germs. That limited his interaction with his daughter.
And this has changed?
Mr. Brody's psychiatrist can testify as to his readiness to accept the responsibility of raising his daughter.
With sympathies for Mr. Brody's condition, he has been an absentee dad, and it's a little late to step in now.
I'd like to hear from both fathers. And Mr. Brody's psychiatrist. I'm also appointing a child psychologist to conduct a family interaction study to assess the degree of bonding between Carolyn and her stepfather. Court is recessed until after lunch.
Now, baby, listen to me. Kevin, do not jump.
It's okay. I have a parachute.
No, Kevin, that's not a parachute. That's a sheet and a clothesline. Kevin, I mean it. Come down here right now.
Okay, here I come.
Wait, hold it.
What now?
Well, if you're going to do this, you may as well do it right. Maxine.
What do you mean, do it right?
Back up so you can get a good start. Just back up so you can clear the stairs here. Back up, honey.
I got Judge. Come here, you.
Now do you see why we need a vacation?
It so happens I was at your sister's this morning.
And?
And I have absolutely no reservation in recommending her as a temporary caregiver for Kevin.
Oh, Maxine! Thank you! Not that we don't adore Kevin, which we do. But,
Well, even foster parents deserve a little break on their 20th wedding anniversary. You and Mitch have done a wonderful job.
So?
well, it's all set. Week in Orlando.
They're not going to suspend our pay, are they? Because we promised to compensate expenses for Laura's sister.
No, I'll take care of your paperwork. You just enjoy your vacation. You stay off the roof.
Come here, you.
Mr. Brody, Paul, when did you first realize you had OCD?
Well, I didn't even realize I had a name until soon after Christine and I, that's Carolyn's mother, and I were divorced.
For those of us who can't understand what it's like living with OCD, could you share a little with us?
Well, someone once described it as mosquitoes of the mind. I mean, it's like an itch that won't go away, like the one you're not supposed to scratch, but you can't stop. I mean, it's torture.
And how did it start?
With a handshake.
A handshake?
Without warning, one day, bam, my life just changed. I mean, I was at work. After shaking hands with a client, I suddenly had this uncontrollable urge to wash them, and that wasn't enough. It was as if I had to sterilize them. I mean, there was something in my brain saying that they're dirty, they're filthy. Wash them again, which I did about 20 times until I almost rubbed them raw. At one point, I was spending about 11 hours a day showering and cleaning. I mean, I couldn't function in the real world anymore. I had to quit my job.
And how are you today, after working with Dr. Grayson?
Well, I mean, I shower once a day. I mean, sometimes twice, but I mean, that's it.
Despite the physical separation, you never lost contact with your daughter, did you?
No, I didn't. I mean, I kept up with her teachers. I spoke to her pediatrician after every visit. I mean, I saw every dance recital on tape. I mean, I never stopped loving her. I never stopped being her father. I mean, I just missed touching her and stroking her hair and hugging her. but I couldn't. Look, Eric, I am so grateful to you for what you've done. I mean, you did for Carolyn what I only wish I could have done for her. But now I'm ready. I have overcome so much pain and frustration. And now I want to be able to tuck my daughter into bed for the first time and tell her that I love her. Not over the phone.
Well, first we have to make the sauce, then cook the noodles.
Damn!
Socrates, no.
Don't let him into the den. He's gonna get mud all over the carpet.
This house is a disaster.
Well, I keep telling Mom to fix the roof, but she ignores me. A new paint job wouldn't be such a bad idea.
What is up with Mom?
I guess Dad handled all the house stuff.
Well, you know, this is totally unacceptable. I mean, you can't just let a house go like this. I'll talk to her.
Maybe she doesn't have the money.
She has the money. Look, Dad left her a decent nest egg. It's not a lot, but it's certainly enough to fix the roof.
She's always scrimped on herself. Remember how hard it was for her to buy a new car? Maybe she's afraid. I mean, how much longer is she really going to be able to work?
I really don't think that's the issue.
Dad's insurance money is enough for any of her needs. I'll just have to talk to her.
Once again, maybe she doesn't have the money.
She has the money.
No, actually, she doesn't. Not that much, at least.
What are you talking about?
Remember when Mom was spending all that time on the internet? She wasn't just visiting chat rooms. She was dabbling in the stock market. She lost a fair amount.
Oh, for crying out loud.
What?
How do you know?
She told me.
Mom was day trading?
Yep.
Oh, she couldn't possibly be that stupid.
Apparently she is. Thank you, Vincent.
Mom, I'm sorry.
I had planned not to involve any of you in my personal financial affairs, since they're none of your business. But now that you know, I'll reiterate. It's none of your business. Now, if you'll excuse me, don't set a place for me at supper. I'm not very hungry.
Mother, well, why didn't you tell me? I've been handling your finances since Dad died.
You haven't been handling anything. And I didn't tell you because I didn't want you losing sleep.
But you told Vincent. Vincent, who doesn't know anything about money, who barely has a checking account in his own name. He doesn't know the first thing about investment or money management. How could he help you?
He couldn't. That's why I told him. I needed empathy. I don't need help.
You don't? Mom, the whole house is falling apart, and maybe the only significant asset you have left.
I can always use my retirement fund for emergencies.
Oh, forget it. You're not 62. You'll incur huge penalties. It makes no sense. You won't have anything else to live on.
Peter, stop it.
No, Mother, this is serious. What are you going
Stop
to do?
Stop talking. I'm a grown-up woman with all of my faculties and most of my teeth, and I am not yet at the stage where I need to be taken care of by my offspring. End of discussion.
All rise.
Morning. Let's get started, shall we?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. We're going to have to wait. The court reporter needed to step away for a minute.
Sally?
No, a substitute, Ian Jankowski.
No. Well, where is he?
The bathroom. He said it was an emergency.
Okay, well, how long can it take? Judge Gray, Ian Jankowski is the worst. Everyone hates him. I see.
Such a diva.
Thank you, Donna.
He tried to run me over in the parking lot
Thank you,
once.
Donna.
Sorry, Your Honor. My apologies to the court.
Feeling all right, Mr. Jankowski?
Irritable bowel syndrome. I have no control.
I'm sorry.
You're such a liar. Yeah. See you in the parking lot.
Mr. Mayhern, you're representing DCF?
That's correct, Your Honor. We're seeking to continue an order of temporary custody for Goran Filipovich.
And Ms. Brock, you're the DCF caseworker?
That's right, Your Honor. Mr. and Mrs. Filipovich immigrated to the United States from Croatia almost a year ago with their 9-year-old son, Goran.
Is that Goran? color me stupid.
However you spell it is fine, Mr. Jankowski. So when did DCF remove Gorin from his parents' home?
10 days ago, right after we were notified the family was being evicted from the transition shelter where they were residing.
You're telling me this family was forced onto the streets almost 2 weeks ago, and you've yet to find suitable housing for them?
No, Your Honor. We found housing, but Mr. Filipovich has adamantly refused to sign any paperwork or fill out the necessary documents.
Mr. Filipovich, can you explain why you're unwilling to cooperate with DCF?
Please, we would like our son, Goran. We will get home. Good home.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Filipovich. I'm sure we all want that as well. Mrs. Filipovich, do you and your husband have anyone to represent you? Attorney? A lawyer?
Your Honor, if I may.
Please.
Mr. and Mrs. Filipovich have refused to fill out the financial affidavits necessary for appointment of counsel.
Did they say why?
Yes. At least I think they did.
You think they did?
We tried, Your Honor, but the only Croatian interpreter we could locate isn't available until tomorrow.
Well, then I'd like to see everyone back here tomorrow, 10 a.m., with an interpreter. This language barrier is keeping this family apart. Let's make sure there's someone here to represent the Filipoviches.
Excuse me, Mr. Bellamy.
Is it about gas allowances?
No,
Is it about lunch allowances?
No, it's about a
It's
foster...
about parking.
No.
Well, what is it then?
I have a foster family, Laura and Mitch Evans, in need of respite. I found another family eager and qualified to take the foster child for 1 week.
Fabulous.
So can they simply take the money we pay them and give it to the second family, or do we have to go through some hellish rigmarole?
We can't just have people swapping children and handfuls of taxpayers' cash.
Hellish rigmarole it is.
Name?
Maxine Gray.
Not you, the foster parents.
Laura and Mitch Evans.
Which child?
There's only one child.
I show 3. Jennifer Hollier, Kevin Deacon, James Forsyth.
Your computer's wrong. Jennifer Hollier aged out of the system, and James Forsyth, if I recall correctly, was reunited with his grandparents.
We are paying the Evanses $1,800 per month, and $600 for each child. I'm quite good at math, Ms. Gray. That adds up to 3 children. That would be a discrepancy. You'd better find out why.
Why me?
Timeless question, Ms. Gray. A timeless question.
Christine and I were married over 5 years.
And in those 5 years, how many times did Mr. Brody visit Carolyn? Or Carolyn stay with Mr. Brody?
Carolyn never stayed with Paul. That would have been too much for him.
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation.
I'll allow it. I want to hear Mr. Capano's answer.
As I've come to understand OCD, Paul was unable to hold Carolyn after she was born because she was unclean. He couldn't change her diaper. He couldn't bathe her. And if he did accidentally touch her, he had to wash himself over and over. Christine said that was one of the rituals that he went through.
Your Honor. Mr. Capano, please keep your comments regarding Mr. Brody to those you have witnessed or experienced firsthand.
Tell us what your relationship with Carolyn has been like.
We've lived under the same roof since Carolyn began to talk. I read her bedtime stories. I took her to Toy Story, her first movie.
And what does Carolyn call you?
She always calls me Dad. That was her choice. But she also calls Paul Dad. And Christine and I never discourage that. When she asks me about him, why she can't see him, I try to explain.
Mr. Capano, why is it that you seek guardianship of Carolyn?
With Carolyn's mother gone, I realized the court usually awards custody to the biological father. But Carolyn's my daughter. I believe that she considers my home to be her home. It's the only home she knows. It's where I've helped her with her homework. It's where I've had to send her to her room. It's where she has memories of her mother. I want to be there when her heart gets broken for the first time. when she graduates from high school, when she gets married. I've lost my wife. Please. Please don't take my daughter.
Is that why you were so quiet in the car?
Yeah, smart people are supposed to like foreign films.
I just don't think Hungarians should attempt comedy.
It was a comedy?
Not if you have to ask. So you want to stay?
Yeah, I do. But I don't think I can.
I have been tested, and my sheets are clean.
It's not that. Ever since the attack, everything makes me nervous, and I don't want to be nervous about this.
Okay. We'll wait.
It just makes me feel so vulnerable, and it's hard to explain.
You don't have to explain. If you're uncomfortable, so am I. We have plenty of time. Whenever you're ready, I'm here. And if I'm not here, I have a beeper.
$12,000.
That's what the roof guy estimated. It includes gutters and screens. And God knows what else he found. I left before he was finished.
Well, she can't use her retirement money. I'd leave her totally vulnerable. Frankly, Jillian and I aren't in a position right now to help her out.
I know. And Vincent?
He's hopeless. Still paying off college loans. Basically, you're the only one with money, Amy.
I don't have any money. I'm fighting Michael for more child support. Why do you think I live at home?
Speaking of that, how do you and Mom divide up the house expenses?
What do you mean?
Do you pay rent? Utilities? Groceries?
Yeah, well, I buy groceries occasionally. Mom invited me to live with her. She didn't ask for any money.
Of course she didn't. But I imagine adding you and Lauren to the household has increased her monthly expenses considerably.
Maybe a little. How much can it be? The house is paid off, isn't it?
No, Dad had to take out a second mortgage in the early 80s. Amy.
Fine, I'll start paying rent. What?
I have to say, you know, I'm amazed the thought didn't cross your mind before this.
Well, I never thought this would be a long-term arrangement. Don't shrug at me, okay? I am not your stupid little sister. If I blew it by not paying rent, then I will make it up with Mom, but I don't need you wagging your finger at me.
You're 35 years old, Amy. I just expected more from you.
Really?
Oh, you are the one that went to Harvard, after all.
That's nice. Hey, Peter, I just got one question for you. What happened to you?
Nothing's happened to me.
Yeah, it has. God, Peter, when we were growing up, you were the cool one. You were the guy in the band. You were the guy who could ditch all your classes and still make straight A's. You were working to legalize marijuana. What happened to that guy? When did you become this guy?
Dad died, and I grew up. Someone had to.
Sex is complicated.
It wasn't complicated in high school.
How much sex were you having in high school?
Well, I had to be advanced in some subject.
She obviously wants to be with you. Give her some time. She's scared.
How do I back off without making her feel like I don't care? Because I do care. Do I bring it up again? Do I let her bring it up? I don't want to mess this up.
Here's a new idea. Why don't you tell her how you feel?
What, let down my whole gender?
You love her?
I don't know. What? I'm standing here with a mocha latte talking to my sister about love. My sperm count is plummeting.
You love her.
Shut up. I gotta run.
Vojna policija je odvela Anku, našu kćerku.
The military police took our daughter
Rekli su da je
Anka.
neće ništa.
They told us they wouldn't hurt her.
Samo ako ja potpišem dokumente.
But if I signed the documents that they gave me.
Excuse me, am I supposed to record the Croatian or whatever? This is all very confusing.
Just the translation will do. Carry on.
Ti dokumenti sa mojim potpisom dali bi moju kuću,
If I signed these documents,
moj
I
posao,
knew I
sve
would
što
be
ja imam.
relinquishing my house, my business, everything I owned.
Ali Anka bi nam bila vraćena.
But our daughter
Ja
Anka
sam
would be
potpisao.
returned to us, so I signed their documents.
Čekali smo tjednima.
We waited for weeks,
Naša lijepa Anka nije nam vraćena.
but our beautiful Anka was not returned to us.
Sve dok je nisu bili silovali.
Not until she had been raped.
Sve dok je nisu
Not
ubili.
until she had been murdered.
I sad su ovi odveli mog sina i rekli da će ga vratiti ako im potpišem dokumente.
Now these people have taken our son, and they tell us that he will only be returned if we sign their documents.
Smiri se. Biće sve u redu.
Oprostite, nisam ja htio nikog vrijeđati.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I mean no
Sam je
disrespect.
naše dijete. A Goran, vi griješite što
But
ga
Goran is
štitite
our
od nas.
son, and it is wrong for you to keep him from us.
Thank you, Mr. Filipovich. Mr. Mayhern, were either you or Miss Brock familiar with the information that Mr. Filipovich just shared with us?
No, Your Honor.
Well, given what we've just heard, their reluctance to sign various financial aid and housing forms is certainly understandable.
Your Honor, our primary concern right now is Goran. He cannot live in the streets. He needs a home. He needs someone who can provide for him.
Then I think DCF should find housing for the Filipoviches.
But, Your Honor...
But nothing. I cannot believe we are going to let the lack of a simple signature keep this family apart.
Your Honor, someone has to sign.
Fine. How about DCF? How about social services?
Your Honor, even if we secure an apartment for this month, what about the next? The Filipoviches could very well still end up homeless, and we'll all be right back here again. The child needs consistency.
During this past year, this young man has lost his sister and his home. He left all his friends and he came to a new country. Throughout all of this, the one thing that was consistent was the presence of his parents. Miss Clark, I'd like to see a signed copy of a rental agreement before the end of the day.
Of course, Your Honor.
Today? Yeah, today, Miss Brock. It's Friday. I'd like to see Goran home for the weekend.
Gorane.
Emma. I was going to eat lunch, but then I thought about it, and I decided all I really wanted was chocolate cake. Sounds good to me. Get your own. I can't have a bite. I'd rather you didn't. Okay. Mom, if you needed money, all you had to do was ask.
Amy, I don't want to have this discussion again. All I want right now is to eat cake.
Fine. How much did you lose?
$27,000 and change.
Oh, Ma.
There was a day or two there when I thought I was really onto something.
I bet. Ma, I want to start paying rent. Don't say no. This was supposed to be a temporary arrangement, and I think it's going to be more long term.
All right.
All right. What?
All right, you're paying rent.
How long have you wanted to ask me for money?
Since you were 19.
I am an adult, Mom. I can handle this.
The most crippling obsessions create absurd, embarrassing, or frightening thoughts that repeat in the mind in an endless loop. The sufferer engages in compulsive rituals that relieve these obsessive thoughts. This interferes with the victim's normal functioning, and his work and home life disintegrate.
And just how rare is OCD, Doctor?
Oh, it's not rare at all. At least 4 million people in the United States suffer from it.
But it is treatable, is it not?
Oh, yes, with medication or through behavior therapy.
Dr. Grayson, where's Mr. Brody in terms of treatment and recovery?
Paul Brody is ready and capable of being a father in the truest sense of the word. He has a home-based job working with an internet company. He makes a good living. He is fully aware of his OCD, and he is ready to take on the added responsibility of raising his daughter.
All right. This can be fixed. Go to Bellamy. Tell him you were wrong, that there are 3 kids at the Evanses.
Are you telling me to lie to Mr. Bellamy?
Maxine, if there's one person on this planet worth lying to, it's Bellamy.
Susie, this is fraud.
Oh, Maxine, please. The Evanses have helped us out I don't know how many times. Emergency overnights, difficult placements. It's hard to find good foster families, Maxine. Do you remember the time they took triplets without any notice?
Do you remember the caseworker on the triplets?
Then you know from personal experience that the Evanses are the kind of people who, if they get a little extra money, it's on the side of the angels. Let's not screw them around, okay?
My other dad said he wants me to come live with him, but I don't even know where he lives.
When was the last time you saw your other dad?
He sends me pictures.
When was the last time you saw him in person? Do you remember?
No.
Would you like to see him now? He's right outside. He'd like to see you. If that's okay.
He's here. He's really...
Yeah?
Really?
Would you like to see him?
Yes, please.
Carolyn?
Daddy?
Oh, you're so big. You're so pretty. God, you're even prettier than the picture you sent me last month.
Daddy,
Yeah.
can I give you a hug?
Yeah.
And Mr. Brody, do you need to wear those gloves?
No, Your Honor. I love you, Carolyn. You know that, right?
Yeah, Daddy.
Carolyn,
I know, Dad. I know. Don't worry, Dad.
Let it slide.
Well, the best advice I've gotten today, Mr. Bellamy, was to lie to you because you would be unable to see the bigger picture.
Really? How's this for the bigger picture? A list of the foster parents and their charges. And the payout schedule. Let me save you 4.5 hours of line-by-line scrutiny. There's a discrepancy of $15,000. That's evidence of fraud, Ms. Gray.
The foster family told me they pay back the surplus.
Well, if they do, I'm not showing any of those monies.
They said they make the checks out to DCF.
Great. So somebody registers a numbered company, calls it DCF, and cashes the checks for themselves.
Could we find out if anyone did that?
We can. if it's registered in Connecticut.
Paul Brody is Carolyn's biological father. Eric Capano has raised her essentially since the age of 1.5. While this court is convinced that both men could meet Carolyn's basic medical and financial needs, Connecticut statute gives preference to biological parents in custody disputes. That being said, while the court respects your efforts to overcome your OCD, Mr. Brody, I am not at all convinced that you are ready to assume the responsibilities of parenting. Kids get dirty. They have germs. It comes with the territory. And sometimes what a skinned knee needs most is a kiss. Therefore, I'm going to grant Mr. Capano's petition and award him guardianship of Carolyn. But because I feel it is important for her to reconnect with her biological father, I am going to schedule a regular series of visitations by Mr. Brody to be determined after both parties confer with Mr. Brody's psychiatrist and the psychologist who conducted the family evaluation survey. That's all.
I'm giving you a choice, Susie. Either you can resign or I can take this upstairs.
You want me to quit because some very good, very hard-working foster parents made not a little extra money?
I want you to resign because you stole money from children.
I did it for children. I did it for foster parents. Gaps in payment, bureaucratic slowdowns. Good people were paying for mistakes we were making. It wasn't working, so I made it work. I am not sorry for that.
The system isn't perfect. I've known that a lot longer than you. But it doesn't give us permission to go into business for ourselves.
Do you know how much I got? Couple thousand, give or take.
Seems very short-sighted to destroy your career for $2,000.
I'm management, Maxine. My salary was frozen last year. You make more money than I do.
Life's unfair, Susie.
I'm still paying off student loans. Most days, I go without lunch so that I can afford daycare for my daughter. I take a bus to work.
I know what it's like to need money. But it doesn't give me a license to steal it.
You've been out to get me from the beginning.
Wrong. I didn't know you in the beginning. But it became clear early on that you put yourself first. You talk a good game. It seems like you care about children. But it's really all about you.
Who do you think the people upstairs will believe, Maxine? It's money they owe me. Out-of-pocket expenses, I can back it up. And the bosses like me, Maxine. They like me because I know how to be pragmatic. I know how to make this place work, despite this stupid system.
It's 5 o'clock. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna get that little boy home with his parents for the weekend.
Then we stay.
Mr. Jankowski, it looks like we're gonna be staying a little bit later this evening.
Sorry, Your Honor, but it's 5, and I'm afraid I've made other plans.
Then you'll probably want to cancel them.
That is not possible.
Sit down, Mr. Jankowski.
Union rules. Take it up with my supervisor.
What the hell is the matter with you? These people have endured wars. They've seen members of their families tortured and killed. Now they're in a strange country in danger of losing their son. I don't care about your plans or your union. Sit down, Mr. Jankowski.
Judge Gray, I'm sorry we're late.
Do you have police? Back on the record, please. I have before me the signed lease confirming that the Filipoviches have an apartment through the end of the month. Ms. Brock?
Yes, Your Honor?
Does DCF approve of the apartment?
Yes, but I'm still concerned we're all going to be right back here again next month.
Noted. Ms. Clark, I am dissolving the OTC. Mr. and Mrs. Filipovich, you may take your son home.
Можете повести горе.
Thank you.
Vincent, did you eat my kumquats?
Not on purpose.
Hiding behind the wheatgrass.
Hey, I was gonna meet you at the restaurant.
We need to talk.
Okay.
We should have sex. Okay. I'm leaving. Donna, I didn't see you there. Because I'm not here.
You were saying?
I want to get it over with.
Oh.
I have no idea when these fears are going to go away or if they're ever going to go away. And maybe it has nothing to do with the attack. I mean, maybe it's just nerves, normal nerves. So maybe the best thing to do is to just close my eyes and take a breath and jump.
Wow.
What?
Now I'm scared.
Really?
No, not really.
He just had to gloat, huh, Maxine? Well, this is not over. I am innocent.
You should have called me before you called the police.
Why? She stole money. She broke the law.
This is a DCF problem, Maxine. We could have handled this cleanly and quickly without involving the police. Now it's going to be a noisy, god-awful mess.
I'm sorry, Jim. I really am. But Miss Nixon suggested to me that she had nothing to fear inside this department.
And you believed her?
I had to make sure.
You got one set of brass balls, lady.
Hey,
Hey.
Jillian said you were up here.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Taxes. This probably sounds boring and stodgy to you, but I like to get a jump on them before things get really crazy.
No, it sounds good. I wish I were that organized. I just came up to tell you I talked to Mom about the roof. She's gonna let me pay for it.
Really? The whole thing?
Yeah, I sold some stock. Figured I owed her.
Okay. Well, we don't need to worry about that anymore.
You were right. You know, I should have been chipping in. I just thought. I guess I wasn't thinking.
Okay. So, did you really think I was the cool one?
Yeah, are you kidding? You're the coolest. All my girlfriends had crushes on you.
They did? I don't remember that.
That's why you were cool. Totally oblivious. Doing your own thing. The band. Your music.
Man, I haven't thought about that band for years.
The Replicants. Pete, Ayo, little Dougie. I still got the t-shirt.
I was born crossed by a hurricane. I howled it out to my mom, the driving rain. Well, it's alright. Now, in fact, it's a gas. Well, it's alright. And jumping jack flash, it's a gas, gas, gas. Jumping jack flash, it's a 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 gas. Jumping jack
Thank you, and good night.
I can't go for that.
Why not? It's better than detention.
I'll say it's like setting the kid free on a tropical island.
Mr. Dobson, if I allow for the transference of supervision to Puerto Rico, there's no way to enforce the conditions of probation.
Exactly. He'll be out of the system and wreaking havoc.
He's a 13-year-old boy.
A 13-year-old boy who had in his possession 3 grams of cocaine and $120 in cash.
A 13-year-old boy who deserves a few years on Long Lane.
Geez, I thought the whole idea of an informal discussion was to compromise.
Mr. Dobson, you were the one moving for a pretrial probation. Give Mr. Carr a reason to play ball.
His aunt and uncle are a stable working couple that live 50 miles from the nearest city. His mother's prepared to relocate there with him.
His mother's willing to quit her job.
Job, apartment, boyfriend, she's willing to give it all up.
Well, that's a significant commitment.
I want confirmation of the address.
No problem.
A one-way ticket.
Done.
Proof that the boy is enrolled in a school.
Catholic school, very traditional, quasi-medieval.
Are we done?
Not quite.
Jeez, just slit my wrist.
Mr. Caro.
I want the boy to get one of your rants.
My what?
One of your lectures, I mean. They make an impression.
Are you making fun of me, Mr. Caro?
Your Honor, I am not. You have a certain hectoring tone in your voice when you really get going that registers with these kids.
I'll see what I can do, if the spirit moves me. We're gonna go back on the record. Let the record show that both parties have come to an agreement. The respondent will relocate to Puerto Rico. Mr. Rivera, would you step forward, please? I can only hope that you appreciate the great lengths that your family and Mr. Dobson and the assistant state attorney have gone to help you pull together a real life.
Yes, Your Honor.
When your mother moved here from Puerto Rico, she did it because she wanted a better future for you. And instead, what she got was a son who spat on every value she holds dear because he decided to sell drugs. You dashed your mother's hope for a new start in the land of opportunity. Her chance at a new life was ruined because you disgraced her. You must make it up to her, Mr. Rivera, if it takes you the rest of your life.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Calma.
Te amo.
Are you worried for the safety of your children?
No. He's a good father.
How many children do you have?
2 boys, 6 and 9.
Mrs. DeBello, you're going to have to tell me how I can help you.
I made a mistake. We had a fight, and I told them that I might leave and take the boys with me, which I would never do.
Did your husband threaten you?
He loves us. They're his sons.
Did he strike you?
Not this time. Not in a while, but things are getting bad at work, and that makes him crazy. He says such terrible things to us, and I'm afraid.
Can you move out? Is there a relative or friend you could stay with?
Not really.
Are you afraid of retribution if you leave? Afraid that your husband might come after you?
I know he would.
There are shelters, Mrs. Del Bello. There are programs for women at risk.
He can't know I came to you. If you could do it, so maybe he thought it was a neighbor or the school. You must have anonymous tips. Could you do that?
Mrs. Del Bello, if your husband has threatened you before or hurt you, we can involve the police.
He'd kill me, Miss Gray. Please, will you try?
Yes. All right. I'll try to find a way to approach him without involving you.
God bless you. You're a wonderful person.
Hey, I missed you in court this morning.
I had to clear tomorrow's docket.
Tell me it's because I have tomorrow off.
Well, you're going on a trip.
A trip to where?
Marston.
Marston?
It's a hearing on the motion to modify a custody order regarding a 12-year-old boy who was taken from his mother when she was put in rehab.
And now she wants him back.
The boy was put on Ritalin. She's challenging the diagnosis.
Doesn't Judge Brinkman cover Marston?
Judge Brinkman sees the same psychiatrist as the boy, so he recused himself.
Is this because I'm a new judge?
It's your turn, Judge Gray. Fair and square.
So you going with me?
That's up to you.
What do you think?
I'll drive.
She's having all of those weird cravings. Chocolates, SpaghettiOs, ding-dongs. Evie's getting really big.
Pregnant women get big. That's a baby in there, not ding-dongs.
Well, it's a big baby.
Maybe you're pregnant too, Mommy. You like SpaghettiOs.
I'm not pregnant, Lauren.
How do you know?
I know. Eat your pie.
Your mother can't be pregnant. She doesn't even have a husband.
Evie doesn't have a husband. How did she get pregnant?
You want to take that, Peter?
The dinner table is not an appropriate venue for this discussion.
Are you pregnant?
No. Eat your pie.
Because I want to have a baby brother.
Hey, Mom, can you pick up Lauren after school tomorrow? Vincent's on a deadline. I'm working out of town. I might be late.
No, I can't. I have a situation at work. Where are you going?
I'm subbing in Marsden.
Backwater detail. That's the worst.
I mean, I could do it.
Well, that'd be great. I mean, if that's okay with you. I know you have to work, too.
Evie could help. It'd be fun.
We can talk more about babies.
Great.
Yeah.
Mrs. Del Bello, I'm going to talk to your husband at his work. You won't be present. Your name will not enter into it. I'm going to tell him that, yes,